here. It truly is incredible. But you heard it from Kelly. You know, we're kind of in this limbo period. It's kind of this, there's mixed emotions. And I know you felt this, Brian. I felt it. We won the election, and on election night, it was like, holy cow. It took me a while. Even after it was called, I'm like, I was kind of in this weird lull. I'm like, okay, we won. Now what? And I think that in talking to a lot of people, it's okay, now what? And there's really that sense like, okay, I was used. You heard Kelly say that. I started because I felt called to it. And then I was like, now what? And there's a lot of people across America saying with that same sentiment, wondering, okay, now what, you know, there's no more rallies. There's what is this going to look like? What do you need? What does Trump need from me? What does America need from me? And I think really now it's going to be a strategic move towards how do we impact culture? How do we take what we did to win the election and then turn that into cultural revolution in our communities, and in particular in the blue places. And I, you know, talking about Tom Homan, you mentioned Tom Homan. I think we have a clip. I'd love to throw to that, and as soon as we have an opportunity. He is such an incredible force of nature, and what he's going to do with ICE, where they're starting, the point that they're starting in Chicago, to me is I mean, it's almost biblical. That is the epicenter of evil in America. That's where the whole the communist revolution came out of. That's where liberation theology came out of. That's where the sanctuary state movement came out of. And so the fact that he is starting there, the fact that this is where it's going to grow out of, and it's starting in such a blue place that is turning red because the inner city has woken up to the lies of the Democrat, the black inner city. And I have friends here, Bob Israel, goes by King Israel. He's around here somewhere. The inner city, my friend Terry Newsom, all these guys who used to be Democrats woke up to it and are now saying, we're going to fight to save our country. You're going to see an awakening over these next days, weeks, and months and years where you may have not expected it to come from before. There's something new that's happening across our country. And so for the people out there, I would say this: if you're wondering where to get involved, first off, always start with prayer. Say, Lord, where do you want me to go? Show me the door to walk through. You walk through that first door, he'll take you to the second one and the third one and guide you down your path. But the first step is pray, and then you act, you walk. But if you're in any of those places, if you feel like you're an abandoned community, if you're in Berkeley or San Francisco or LA or somewhere where you feel like, oh, it's hopeless, I want to encourage you. There is light shining in the darkness, and now is the opportunity. There is a harvest ripe for picking, and if you're in those communities, that is where you need to be. You need to reach out and obviously do it safely. You don't want to get stitches if you can avoid them, but there's an opportunity. People are hungry. It's going to be a different term. Now, we're going to still have BLM. We're still going to have Antifa. Now, we're going to have millions of illegals that are weaponized and fighting in the streets. You've got jihadists, Hamas supporters, Palestinians, all these guys that are going to try to do violence. But there is an awakening where you're going to be able to reach more people in these next 4 years than you ever could before.
Stand and join us for the national anthem.
Well, we're starting the national anthem, guys. I don't want to get in the way of that. We were going to throw to a clip of Tom Homan, but let's listen to the national anthem.
All right, thank you, Ben. Let's. Are we going to stay with the national anthem? Let's listen in.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the lands of
country.
24. We'll have the speakers coming up here shortly, but after the break, this book is all the buzz of Amfest. Dan Fluette, Rebels, Rogues, and Outlaws will join me to talk about the journey he'd made on this book. That's coming up here on our final day of coverage here at Amfest 2024.
Cabinets to Go is bringing the wow. Get up to 70% off and customize your dream kitchen during our year-end clearance sale. Hurry in for your free 3D design consultation and enjoy your new kitchen for as low as $119 per month. Cabinets to Go. Wow for less.
Throughout its history, the mission of Hillsdale College has been to develop the minds and improve the hearts of its students. As a commitment to this mission, every student signs an honor code. A Hillsdale College student is honorable in conduct, honest in word and deed, dutiful in study and service, and respectful of the rights of others. Through education, the student rises to self-government.
Have you ever felt leg pain, restlessness, cramps, tingling, swelling, numbness, itchiness, or coldness? Then you need the new, clinically proven Legzercise Pro, the natural circulation booster that uses continuous automatic leg movement to soothe pain and promote healthy circulation the natural drug-free way.
After using Legzercise for a week, I felt like I wanted to go for a walk again without pain like I used to.
Legzercise Pro's patented walking simulator propulsion technology moves your feet back and forth along its concave track, creating constant movement and flex at both the knee and ankle joints. It's like having a physical therapist right in your own home.
It's helped with the swelling and the pain. The tingling feeling is gone.
Call right now and order your very own Legzercise Pro, the clinically proven automatic leg mover that soothes pain and naturally promotes healthy circulation. Call now.
Kevin paid off over $12,000 in credit card debt with the help of Consolidated Credit. They cut his interest rates and lowered his payments so he could pay off his debt fast. Call 800-596-8062 for a free consultation.
All right, back out here live in Phoenix, Arizona. We'll get to Dan Fluette in just a moment, but Matt Gaetz just took the stage. Let's listen in.
Manufacturing and distribution of fentanyl. And most importantly, on day one, the Department of Justice has to be ready to pardon the non-violent January 6th defendants who were abused by a two-tier justice system. Pam will do these things. We must get her confirmed, and as we look at these Senate confirmations, I must say, I think I moved the Overton window just a bit. The Senate must confirm Tulsi Gabbard and RFK Jr., and perhaps most importantly, my good friend for the next FBI director, Kash Patel. Republican senators should be ashamed of themselves if they believe the Hillary Clinton lie that somehow Tulsi Gabbard is a Russian agent. I care far more that Tulsi Gabbard will clean up the deep state, tell the truth, and keep America out of forever wars. And while it is a little odd, I don't particularly care that RFK Jr. may have killed a bear or texted back a thirsty reporter. I care far more that RFK Jr. will stop Big Pharma and Big Food and Big Chemical companies from killing our fellow Americans through poison. And it is offensive to me that Republican senators want to tweeze through the life of Pete Hegseth when they haven't lifted a finger in many cases for the lives of the 8,600 patriots who were purged from the Department of Defense as the consequence of an unlawful vaccine mandate. I won't rest, Hegseth won't rest, and Donald Trump will not rest until those patriots are welcomed back with their full rank and back pay. Republican senators, we, the voters of this movement, will not accept the answer that you voted for Joe Biden's nominees, like Lloyd Austin, but refused Trump's. Politics will encounter more accountability these days. We just saw it last week. Last week, every lobbyist in Washington, D.C. wanted this 1,500-page bill to pass with billions of dollars in pork, with the funding of the censorship industrial complex, with the funding of bio labs and foreign aid that do not serve America's interests. They had all the wind at their back. They had backed us up against the Christmas break, and thanks to Donald Trump and Elon Musk and Turning Point and the millions of people who are mobilized on X, we defeated the bill of the lobbyists, and we are ready to march on with America First agenda. And the Democrats, they just don't get it. They continue to criticize Elon Musk as if he is acting in self-interest, when we all see that Elon is acting alongside President Trump in the national interest. And we have something now that we've never had before. We have the ability to lash the resources that Elon is committed to with the energy and the mobilization and the infrastructure built by Charlie Kirk and animated by Turning Point Patriots in chapters all over America. Many have asked which perch I will be fighting from next. And some of you throughout this conference have even given me a few suggestions. My fellow Floridians have asked me to eye the governor's mansion in Tallahassee. Maybe special counsel to go after the insider trading for my former colleagues in Congress. It seems I may not have had enough support in the United States Senate. Maybe I'll just run for Marco Rubio's vacant seat in the United States Senate and join some of those folks. And my friend Steve Bannon and others have suggested that I return to the House of Representatives on January 3rd, but I would remind Steve, when he got out of prison, he didn't punch a guard on the way out. For the moment, I'll enjoy being one of you. It was James Madison who said that the most powerful position in America would not be congressman or senator or even president, but that of citizen, because we put such an obligation on the citizenry to ignite the patriotism that the country needs. President Trump will need warriors at every level of government, local, state, and federal. And he's going to need people fighting for him inside and outside of government. Now, I was known as a feisty, tough, and at times exciting congressman. One America News is a feisty, tough, exciting news organization, and I am thrilled to be joining their lineup with the Matt Gaetz Show at 9 p.m. They're even letting me film out of Washington, D.C. a good amount, and so who knows what trouble I may get into while I'm there. Censorship of OAN, the Federalist, and so many other conservatives must be remediated. It is not enough just to stop the censorship now going forward or to limit the repression of our reach and our discussion. We have to go and remediate the censorship that they've already done to One America News and to so many other entities that deserve to be a part of what we are building and what we are doing. Last night on Saturday Night Live, they made a little joke at my expense. Martin Short, in his opening monologue, said, "Oh yeah, I have to hurry up because Matt Gaetz is my Uber driver out back." And I got to thinking about that. Think about being so disconnected that you would sit there with the Hollywood elites while trashing the people who drive Uber and actually work for a living every day. So, this is a movement for winners. The greatest one will be taking this stage in just moments. And from the bottom of my heart, thank you to everyone out there who knocked on the doors in the swing states, who registered the voters, who chased the ballots, who made the calls on Election Day. You deserved this victory. You earned this victory. You fought for it. And now it is time to get up, stand up, join together, and to fight for this country we love. Thank you all so much. Thank you for having my back. I will never stop fighting for you. Let's go get them.
President Trump strikes fear in the enemies of America. They should have stopped this invasion. They did nothing. They not only facilitated, but they encouraged it.
One life lost to an illegal or unvetted alien is punishment. That is why the 16,000 men and women of the National Border Patrol Council, the Border Patrol Union, fully support and strongly endorse Donald J. Trump for President of the United States.
Good morning, Arizona. It's great to be here today. I come from the great state of Texas, where we've got a governor and an actual border czar. But the next border czar, Tom Homan, just saw him backstage. He's going to do wonders. He's going to be great. But let me tell you why I'm here. I'm here to thank you for what you did on Election Day. Every single one of you across the country, as well as Democrats and independents, saw this country in the worst possible position it had ever been. And on January 20th, we're taking this country back. We're going to secure our borders the way they need to be secured. There's a saying in Spanish, and I'll tell you what it means in English. Dime con quién andas, te diré quién eres. And what that means is tell me who you're with, and I'll tell you who you are. And Donald Trump is with the American people. There is no stronger advocate for America first than Donald Trump. And because of everything that he has done, he's going to make America great again. We're going to get our power back on the world stage. We're going to get respect for our military. We're going to fix the economy. But more importantly, we're going to protect you and your family from the invasion that this administration has allowed to take place in this country. Millions and millions of people have poured across this border, unvetted, and have committed crimes, taken lives, taken over buildings, taken over cities, taken over communities that you and I live in, that you and I work in, and have made America unsafe. And that ends on January 20th. There is no president that I have served under that has done more for America than President Trump. And I've served under 5, going back 27 years as someone who has protected this country, who's protected this border. Nobody has done it the way Donald Trump has done it. And he has surrounded himself with the best people to get the job done. You've got Stephen Miller in the White House. You've got the next Secretary of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem. You've got Tom Homan. How much better can you be? We're going to secure this border once and for all. And we're going to erase the stain of the Biden administration and what they've done to this country. Before he pardons, before he commutes sentences, what he needs to do is apologize to the families who have suffered at the hands of illegal criminal aliens who have committed crimes in this country. He owes them an apology. He owes the Border Patrol agents an apology for accusing them of whipping Haitian migrants when that was another hoax. Never happened. So before he leaves, he needs to do those things. But do we have hope that he will? Absolutely not. Because he's going to continue to let this country become the laughingstock. Up until the time that Donald J. Trump takes the oath of office on January 20th, America will be back on that day. And I'm looking forward to it. We're going to protect this country. We're going to take it back. I'm a veteran. My son serves in the military. Got a daughter that just graduated with her master's degree last weekend. Got a daughter-in-law that's in college, a wife that's a college graduate. I have a wonderful family. And I want to make sure, President Trump wants to make sure that your country can help you get everything that you want. God bless you. God bless Donald J. Trump. And God bless everybody tonight. Thank you.
We focused on touching every single American family. Our messaging was very uplifting. It was very upbeat.
We must unite as a party, and we must unite as a nation.
We want to get to January 20th and hit the ground running. We do not want to waste a lot of time to be able to get this economy out of a ditch and make sure that we're working for every American family.
We know what strength looks like, and we know that America is a nation of inherent strength. Well, God bless America. 9 years ago, Donald Trump came down that escalator and announced to the world that he was going to make America great again. 9 years ago, the formula was pretty simple. We're going to rebuild our border. We're going to restore our economy. We're going to keep our communities safe. And we are going to make sure that America is strong enough to protect our interests and our allies around the world. For 4 years, that is exactly what he did every single day. For the last 4 years, America has been adrift. America has been weak. And when America is weak, the world is a far more dangerous place. But help is on the way. Because in less than 30 days, Donald J. Trump is moving back to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Republicans will control the House. Republicans will control the Senate. And by God, America is going to be strong again. You know, a lot of people ask, Chairman, how did we get here? How did we win this race? The fact is, we had a pretty simple formula. Get out the vote, protect the ballot, win the battleground states. In order to win a battleground state, you need three things. Number one, you need to get out the vote. Number two, you got to protect the ballot. And number three, you need a great campaign run by a great candidate. Let's just get the easy part out of the way. Donald Trump is not just a great candidate. He didn't just run a great campaign. He is the single greatest leader of this party that we have had in the history of this party in generations. And when it came to getting out the vote, we were there. And when it came to protecting the ballot, we built the first ever national election integrity program. Laura Trump and I recruited 6,500 attorneys, 230,000 volunteers, and every time a vote was cast and every time a vote was counted, we were in the room. But I'll tell you this, I had the best campaign staff ever. We had the best RNC staff ever. But it wasn't enough. We can't do this alone. We need partners. We need allies. We need patriots from all 50 states. Simply put, we need you. we would not have won this election, and Donald Trump would not be the president-elect today if it weren't for Turning Point and the people in this room. So I have two messages today, very simple messages. The first, thank you. Thank you for what you have done to make America great again. Thank you for knocking on doors. Thank you for making phone calls. Thank you for having those ultra-critical 5-minute conversations with undecided voters in every single battleground district, every single battleground state. Thank you for your work here in Arizona. Thank you for your work in Wisconsin, in Georgia, in North Carolina, in Nevada, in Pennsylvania, in Michigan. Because of you, we won every single one of those battleground states. 312 electoral votes. And my second message is equally simple. Our work is not done. This is a movement, and we are going to continue to work every single day. We are going to support Donald Trump and all of his nominees. We are going to make sure that this common sense, America First agenda is going to move through the House and through the Senate. And then we're going to win in 26, and we're going to win in 28. But first, on January 3rd, we're going to have a Republican House, and we're going to have a Republican Senate. And then, on January 20th, Donald J. Trump will be the 47th President of the United States of America. And we will immediately see a man roll up his sleeves and get to work, and he and you are going to make America great again. Thank you, everybody.
You've obviously become, vocally political.
He's taking a stand against woke culture.
The SNL legend tackling subjects that most comedians wouldn't dare go near.
Schneider's hand right here. And your best weapon against tyranny is to be able to speak your mind, to be able to speak freely without reproach from your government. We have to continue to fight to get America.
All right, we're going to take a quick commercial timeout. When we come back, we are still live here in Arizona. President Trump scheduled to speak around 10 a.m. here local time. But until then, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
You have a box of videotapes, film reels, or photos that are degrading? Legacy Box professionally converts them to DVDs, thumb drive, or the cloud. Legacy Box is simple and safe, with over 1 million satisfied customers. Visit legacybox.com today and get 60% off.
The FBI calls it house stealing, the latest scam where a cyber thief transfers the title of your home out of your name and steals your hard-earned equity.
It's roughly 60 to 90 days for that person to even figure out that they're the victim of this crime. You start getting foreclosure notices, and you realize you've got 4 mortgages on your house that you didn't even know existed.
Unfortunately, it's on you to protect yourself. You might already be a victim. Check your title status now at HomeTitleLock.com.
You asked, and we heard you, America.
Real America's Voice is coming to iHeartMedia.
Yes, Real America's Voice is now breaking through the white noise of the mainstream media.
Just download the iHeart app, and you'll have all of us right at your fingertips.
Scan the QR code and start streaming RAV anywhere you want.
Real America's Voice, available whenever you need us.
It's never been easier to stay connected with the voices you trust.
RAV on iHeart means you can take us with you wherever you go.
This is huge. The truth on iHeart. Ready whenever you are. From Charlie Kirk to Steve Bannon, Jack Posobiec to Grant Stinchfield, you'll find all your favorite RAV hosts in one place.
You can listen on Spotify, Apple, Pandora, or Amazon. RAV is now available everywhere you get your podcasts. All you need to do is scan the QR code right now.
Download the iHeart app today and get ready for real America's voice.
Scan the QR code and join the RAV movement.
Attention homeowners. Are you behind on your mortgage payments? Is the bank threatening to take your home? Is your home worth less than you owe? If you answered yes to any of these questions, then you need to call this number right now.
Call 800-714-8615.
All right, day 4 of Amfest 2024. We've got a lot in store. President Trump, 10 a.m. here local time, but until then, Rob Schneider took the stage. Let's listen in.
They had a big fence around it and checked people's IDs. All I want is for this country to have the same level of security as a Democratic convention. Well, thanks to the Democrats, we may not know what women are, but at least we now know what women are not. Qualified to be in charge of the Secret Service. I've seen more competent female Ghostbusters, frankly. Well, the Democrats still seem confused as to why they lost this election. They want to think it has something to do with misogyny or racism. Well, let me clear it up for those still bewildered Democrats. You lost because you tried to tell the American people that the economy was great when they couldn't afford to buy groceries. You lost because you ran a moron in place of a president you knew was a corpse attached to a car battery. Even the Amish, who never voted. It's like, honey, go, Hilda, go get my horse. I don't know what electricity is, but I know one thing, I'm definitely voting against this dipshit. Democrats, you lost because you tried to convince the American people that it was racisty to close the border and not let people come in illegally to rob and murder them. You lost because nobody gives a fuck about the term Latinx. You lost because your Justice Department called parents who showed up at school board meetings terrorists just for not wanting pornography in their children's classrooms. You lost, Democrats, you lost because you lied about January 6th, calling it worse than Pearl Harbor or 9/11, instead of what January 6th really was, the FBI guided tour of the Capitol building. You lost, Democrats, because men can't have babies, women don't have dicks, even if they play in the WNBA. And free speech isn't a privilege like a driver's license. It's a God-given right guaranteed by our Constitution. You lost because you colluded with tech companies like Facebook to silence Americans. You lost because you fired doctors, nurses, scientists, and frontline workers for refusing to take an experimental gene therapy because my body, my choice only counts if it's about abortion. You lost because during the pandemic, you closed churches and small businesses, but kept open strip clubs, liquor stores, and Walmarts, and wanted us to mask up between bites. You lost because they just finished counting the votes in California this morning. You lost because flying Haitians into Ohio in the middle of the night just to increase your voting base is kind of a shady thing to do. Now, I have no problem with legal immigration. I'm just not sure Haiti is sending us their best cat-eating rapist cannibals. Sorry. That was too much even for me. I apologize. You lost because when Bill Clinton goes on The View, Whoopi Goldberg doesn't ask her about Epstein's Island. You lost because you put Kamala Harris in charge of the border. The Democrats finally acknowledged they screwed up the border when Biden removed President Trump's Remain in Mexico policy to stop illegal immigrants from flooding into our country. And now President Trump has an even better policy to stop illegal immigration. It's called the Joe Biden Remain in Delaware policy. And lastly, you lost because you can't give $100 billion to Ukraine and only $700 to American fire victims in Maui. And only $800 to American hurricane victims in North Carolina. Zelensky is obviously a cokehead. All the signs are there. You give him $1 billion, the next week he's broke. He's always wearing the same dirty T-shirt that Sean Penn gave him. He's always saying delusional shit like, I'm going to defeat Russia. Well, 29 days until President Trump takes office. And the Bidens are already starting to pack up. They're going through their drawers, checking under beds, looking, they're looking under in closets, and that's just, gathering up Hunter Biden's Coke stash. I wrote this late last night. A lot of pundits, liberal pundits, are wondering how the Democrats can spend $1.2 billion and lose. They're wondering, how did the Democrats lose men? That's a tough one. Have you tried not trying to physically turn them into women? Just spitballing here. Democrats, looking back now, do you think it was a good idea to spend $1 billion to have every P. Diddy party suspect at your event? Now, you got to give credit where credit is due, though. Last week, Joe Biden achieved a major foreign policy breakthrough, and a literal al-Qaeda terrorist is the new president of Syria. Come on, man, I'm serious. Come on, man, I'm serious. Look, man, he's a bad dude. Why? Probably dementia. You know how senile people sometimes, they put their clothes in the oven, they do weird shit. Sometimes they install a literal al-Qaeda terrorist as president of Syria. We are the party of compassion, the Republicans. Nancy Pelosi fell down and broke her hip, and as much as I disagree about her politics, I feel horrible about her fall, because I had all my money on Mitch McConnell in the office broken hip pool. I did not get paid to be here, like I said, like Oprah got paid, because I got doged by Elon and Vivek. I'm just grateful that the American people saw through Oprah's lies, saying that you will never vote again if Trump wins. America didn't fall for Obama in his mama jeans, trying to shame black men into voting for Kamala just because they may have mommy problems or issues. I'm glad nobody listened to Kamala Harris because she never really said what she stood for. Because at the end of the day, just like her party, she stood for nothing. The Democrats had no policy this year. Their only hope, besides calling Trump Hitler every chance they had, was that their hope was that Americans would hate Donald Trump more than they love their country, and they failed miserably because Americans love their country. Americans love their country. It is a nation under God, with liberty and justice for all. And as we bid farewell to the third Obama administration, and as we witness the woke mind virus gasping its last diversity, equity, and inclusion breath, we welcome the gift the Democrats have bestowed onto us, that now the Republican Party is the party of the people. President Trump, who will be on the stage very shortly, has been handed a mandate by the American people to rid our government agencies that have been captured by the industries they are supposed to regulate, to end the war in Ukraine and the slaughter of all those people, to end the war in the Middle East, to make America energy independent once again. To make America healthy again. I'm grateful to President Trump for having Robert Kennedy as our next Health and Human Services Secretary. Because we need to make America healthy again. 70% of our American men no longer can qualify for the health standards to be in our Army. We need to get all of you need to get healthy again. Walk 10,000 steps a day. We need to get all of us healthy. We need to. Because if you love your country, you want to have your kids healthy again. We got to get to the bottom. We got to kick out the pharma stooges who have been in charge of our CDC. We need to somehow, we cannot have food that is not okay, that Europe won't have, that Canada won't have, but is okay to poison our own American people. That shit has to stop. This is a nation under God, and America has decided that Donald Trump will make America great again. Let's help get President Trump, all of his appointments in by the Senate. And let's, just like Americans stood up and said no to this bill, thanks to Elon Musk and Twitter, we need to get all his appointments in, including Tulsi Gabbard. Let's get them all in to make America great again. God bless you. God bless all of you for fighting and loving this country, and God bless America. Thank you so much. We'll see you now. You can do it, America. Thank you.
All right. Always good stuff here at Amfest 2024. In a few minutes, come right back. Once again, President Trump coming up at 10 a.m. here in local time. Do not miss it. That is his first big speech post-election. That's coming up. Stick around.
When the kids turn unholy,
Harrelson's Own keeps my patience divine.
When work flies out of control, Harrelson's Own keeps me cool as a cucumber.
The device madness never ends, but Harrelson's Own keeps me zen.
Life can be chaotic, but Harrelson's Own CBD helps keep you calm through any storm. Harrelson's Own consistently delivers your full mind and body homeostasis. It's an organic, full-spectrum CBD in a refreshing oral spray. Our nano-emulsified technology makes it completely water-soluble, so your body absorbs it immediately. You'll start to feel it in seconds, not 60 minutes. It just makes everything feel better.
And it helps me just take the edge off. It helps me relax. It helps me be there with my kids.
I swear I'm like a mental ninja. Like nothing can throw me off balance.
No matter how many things come at me, I'm like, boom, handled, next. I'm like crushing it all day long.
Well, some people take it for a release from stress. Some take it to get rid of pain. Others just take it for general well-being. For me, Brett Harrelson, it just makes everything about my day a little better.
Give your life a boost.
It's just the best you've ever felt in your natural state.
My happiness in a bottle is the best.
So to sum it all up, you're going to feel the benefits quickly, love the way it feels, and like the way it tastes. Pay a fair price, and you're going to thank us for it. We are so confident you're going to be satisfied that we back every bottle with a 60-day, 100% money-back guarantee. Give Harrelson's Own a try, from our family to yours. Go to HO.com to order Harrelson's Own now. Yep, it's that easy. Just our initials, HO.com.
Joining me now is Dan Fluette. He is the man behind the hottest product here at Amfest. And I'm not making that up. I've had more people come by with this book for people to sign. It's called Rebels, Rogues, and Outlaws. It's a pictorial journey through War Room and the history. And really, Dan, it captures all of the personalities, all of the images of the War Room movement, and I would say MAGA movement as well.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to, for people who don't know, I was the original producer on War Room that we started up in late 2019. And we had all these like fantastic, really interesting guests and characters that were coming through the studio. And my background being in photography, I thought, wow, what a great opportunity to just capture some of these people, just for fun, right? Just to have them. And I never expected it really to turn into this book, but over time, it kind of like had a force of its own, and it wanted to be that. So yeah, it was really great.
And so many people have this book, and they're obviously, when people that are featured in this book are here, they sign the cover, they sign the page. But what I told you off camera was, we're familiar with the personalities that are in this book, but it's the way that you captured them, in my opinion, is so special. Each picture is so powerful. What was your thought process when it came to putting these pictures together? Like, how did you think the background should look, the lighting, in what context, how close up you push up on their face? Just walk me through the creative process.
Sure. So when I first started, I would just bring these people off into the back studio that I had set up, and it was, let's call it trial and error. So I went through a few missteps. As I was locking in on a style, I just wanted to see what was working and everything. I kept changing my gear, kept changing my backdrops, my lighting, my cameras, everything. And I finally landed on a style that I quite liked. And it's very simple. It's a black background with a single light and a reflector. So what that did was it forced me to really look at each individual as I was shooting him and say, okay, what is it about this person that I find interesting that stands out from them? What is that image that says this is this person? And so it was both freeing and a little limiting it in a way, because, like I said, with just that background, you don't have much room for error. So
no, it focuses on the personality. Yeah. This particular picture here is focusing on Dennis Prager, the great Dennis Prager, and of course our prayers go out to him.
Absolutely.
But you turn the page and you've got Royce White. He's got his style and aggressive personality, and you can turn the page and you have Bishop Schneider. You just have all these people.
Yeah.
What was the reaction when you would reach out and say, hey, I'm putting this book together, I'd like to have a feature? Was everybody on board from day one, right?
No. First of all, look, I've been with Steve for 20 some years, but I've always been behind the scenes, right? So quite frankly, a lot of people don't know who I am. And some people I have known for quite some time, and some people I didn't know. Some people like indulged me my little, you know, and then some people were excited for it, but nobody really knew, least of all me, what this thing was going to ultimately end up looking like or being. So it was just a process of trust, and you know, so it ran the gamut. Some were excited, and some were a little reluctant, but we did it.
Well, you definitely have a wide spectrum. Look at Tulsi Gabbard's on here as well. It's just a great book. Dan, how can someone get a hold of this? I know if you're at Amfest, excuse me. Can they get it here?
Yeah, they can get it here. You can. We're back in the exhibit hall, and obviously we're here at the RAV booth where we're setting up camp a good bit. And look at who we've got here.
Stephen K. Bannon joining. You're in this book, obviously. Is this not a work of art? I mean, honestly,
it's a work of art.
It's a work of art.
It's a work of art.
And it's one of the, and it captures.
First off, Loomer looks like Cleopatra. I told her yes, I know. Some of the shots in there are unbelievable. I didn't know. Dan, he's been producing my films for 20 years.
Yeah.
I didn't know you had an artistic bone in your mouth. Dan does a lot of the writing.
It's latent.
He oversees all the line production, but also the creative behind the scenes. Yeah. But you know, on the set, you have other photographers and stuff, and Dan's the coordinator looking at the shots. But when I first started seeing, he did it in the carriage house in back of the war room at first, and then he came out with the Peter Navarro one that were just extraordinary. I mean, I said, "Wow, Peter Navarro." I said, "That's like a work of art." Because a lot of what you did, the Caravaggio, the great Italian artist Caravaggio created a thing called what? Chiaroscuro,
chiaroscuro, and it's basically a single light.
What's that term?
Chiaroscuro.
Chiaroscuro.
It's a single light.
Yes. It's just a very, very stark light,
but off a dark
background.
And that's why he has, St. Matthew and all these amazing. You go in Rome and you go to these things, and of all the other great paintings, you'll go in these ancient basilicas, and it just will jump off after 1,000 years, or will jump off at you like a modern, almost photograph, and that's what his concept here was. But it's a work of art. I mean, look at the cast of characters he's got in there.
And I think the way, like you said, the way you described it is the only way I would reflect what the war room is. It's not about the background. It's not about all the other stuff. That's a great pick as well in the back with Bobby Kennedy. But you've done a fantastic job with this book.
And the writing too. He caught the real kind of what the war room is, right? It is rebels, rogues. And here's the thing. It started as such a fringe. Remember, I started on a radio station. I had the Facebook page of Brian Colfife set up in one AM radio station in Richmond. And the Real America's Voice guys, Rob Sigg, came to us after the end of the first week, I think, because he had been down at the Wall where we had done these conferences, and he had streamed the conferences. I knew Rob from the streaming guys. He goes, "Hey, would you put it up on thing?" And Dan had set some cameras up, so we did film the first couple. And so at the end of the first week, I think it was week 2.
Yeah, we
went on RAV.
Do you look back at the production and go, "Wow, we've come a long way from just a couple little cameras set up on the side"? Or
You know what's interesting is that actually there was a cool shot, because I had Raheem and Jason as my co-hosts on War Room Impeachment. And when we had guests in, those two would sit with the background, and then they had another seat to my left that looked out into actually where the war room is. So he had another camera set up. It was kind of in-depth shot. It was kind of, we don't do that anymore because now we just always have it for one guest, but the productions changed over time. But the thing is, Real America's Voice was there at the beginning. It was Rob came to us and I said, "Sure, what is streaming again?" No, but if you think of everything that's dominate now for the presidential race of 28, the podcast, the streaming services.
It's powerful.
The influencers. And that's what, if you go through here, you'll see the influencers who kind of started. I mean, Laura Loomer was big, but she was really more fringy. Today, she's in the center of things. Right. MTG wasn't even on a committee. Remember, she got kicked off everything. And she was doing it. Yeah. If you see this Gaetz, if you see the people that when we started were all way out, now they're at the center of the conversation and driving the conversation. A lot of these people, I think there's 10 people in here are in the administration, right? So it's you just see over time it'll be. That's what we hope this is. The war room is a generative thing, and that's why I think it's a pictorial history of it. It's powerful.
And everybody wants to sign this thing.
Yeah,
everybody.
It becomes like a yearbook when you walk it around.
It is. Well, it's history.
A heavy yearbook.
It's history. It's how we've taken back this country. To be honest with you, and the War Room has been a big part of it. Steve, obviously, you've been on the tip of the spear of all this. This is just a wonderful, and it makes a great Christmas gift. So if you're out there, I don't know for shipping. I don't know the logistics on that. But
I think if you get on it today, you'll still get it. Keep the stockings up. You order it today. It'll be there, if not before Christmas, the day after, the next day. Just put in a stocking. Here's the thing. It also shows you, I keep telling people it's not a joke. I actually have the easiest job. I sit in front of the microphone. We conceive of what's going to go on, but you see the people in the background that make it happen and the contributors. This is a coming together over 5 years and hopefully even working potentially volume 2 or get you guys in there, etc. It's just
volume 2.
It's an evolving, but it is like the yearbook. It's the first kind of 5 years of the War Room. We go from here.
Yeah, and then of course, who knows what cast of characters come out in the next 4 years on this administration?
No, you don't. You never know. In a fourth turning, I say this all the time. You look at the Revolution, the Civil War, World War II. People who are very marginal and not really known. People like Grant and Sherman. Right? People in the Revolution who were just marginal players. All of a sudden, when the fourth turning starts rolling in these different eras of American history, they become front and center and huge. General Eisenhower was a staff officer in 1940, 41. And just like now, you're seeing the exact same thing. Yeah. What went from very fringe. Look, it's an AM station, a Facebook page.
Unbelievable.
And then an RAV was tiny at the time.
Oh.
I mean, Rob, I just knew Rob. They told me we were at the wall. We had these tents. It was like 115 degrees. A guy walks up and says, hey, we're streaming this throughout the country.
You're like, who are you?
I go, no, that's amazing. I go, what is streaming again? I don't really understand this.
I do remember the very early days on Facebook, and it was a COVID pandemic.
By the way, the reason the RAV has been such a great partner, we were banned after the Facebook. Brian Colfage got us, I don't know, like 200,000 people. We got permanently. So the impeachment goes to pandemic. We're banned on Facebook, Twitter, everywhere. YouTube. We get bang, bang, bang because we're talking about the pandemic, and hydrochloroquine, and who is Fauci.
Yeah, and REV stuck with us.
REV stuck with us. By the way, he was under some pressure. We went through some choppy water.
Well, and even and thank God for the advertisers. They stayed with us. Amen. That's why I say if you hear somebody on this network, please support them because without the advertisers.
Sponsors. But remember, even MTG, her first year, I think the only time in the history of Congress, her own party kicked her off and didn't have any committee. McCarthy folded, so she would come on the show, and she says, hey, I got some time on my hands because they won't let me sit on. I go, what do you mean you're not committee? She said they threw me off all the committees.
Well, she'll tell you she had plenty of time to study and learn up on recorded votes and things like that and hold people accountable.
She became a beast on the rules.
I think maybe he molded MTG. He made her tougher. You might have shaped her like some clay.
This book has to be important because even the president couldn't get me over here this early. Gaetz, turns out the president's coming a little early. Gaetz is. I was supposed to be watching Gaetz' speech, but I'm here with the book because this is wonderful. And I got to tell you, Dan, over the weekend, I must have signed 2,000 of these books. No, but people love them. They want, and I'd look on, and they would go around and they would have Laura Loomer's signatures, other people's signatures.
I've even signed the book on the back. I don't have a picture, and I love it. I just signed the back cover.
Oh, you're in volume 2 for sure.
I'm just honored to be here with you guys. To be honest with you, you're a big part of history, and this is just the beginning, as we said.
Well, you're going to be a big part of history. That I was talking early this morning and late last night to Gaetz, and I was talking to Russ Vogt early this morning. Capitol Hill, you're going to have so much amazing reporting at Capitol Hill, man. We got a firefight in front of us. So
I'm looking forward to fight. This is one. I said this yesterday when we signed off the air. I said after Amfest, go home, spend Christmas with your family, turn politics off. Let's turn. Who cares about anything going on right now? Come back on January 3rd, ready to fight. Because it starts with the speaker fight, and then we're ready to
War Room. I'm going to do War Room every day.
Of course,
morning edition of War Room.
You got to get that.
We'll let you off in the afternoons. Afternoons off. Half days.
Half days. But we're ready to fight this next term, and we appreciate you. I told you from an artistic point of view, I appreciated it from day one when I saw it.
Thank you,
Steve. You're a legend. You're the
Rebels, Roads, and Outlaws. The pictorial history of the War Room. 5 years. Get it. And I tell you, if you get it, You track me down anytime you see me, I'll sign them. I must have signed 2,000 or 3,000.
That's the thing about Steve Bannon. He will not walk away from someone who wants a moment. I had a friend of mine come up to you. She took a picture with you. You made a great comment.
I feel bad I can't get Dalton by secret. Because you know why? The reason I do it, that's my mom and dad out there. They were the people who come to these things, and they were stand off to the side. They're shy. They're not pushy. Those are the ones you want to make sure you sign their hats. You take a picture with them. They deserve all the hard work they do, going door to door and watching REV and supporting the show. It's the least we can do.
We should. All right, we're going to throw to a commercial break. We come back. We are live here in Phoenix at Amfest 2024. In a few minutes, we'll come right back. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you.
Do you have a box of videotapes, film reels, or photos that are degrading? Legacy Box professionally converts them to DVDs, thumb drive, or the cloud. Legacy Box is simple and safe, with over 1 million satisfied customers. Visit legacybox.com today and get 60% off.
Why is Navage perfect for nasal congestion?
The most common complaint that I will hear in my office is, I have congestion. My nose is blocked. I cannot breathe. Using Navage makes the nose feel cleaner. It's effective. Navage is so simple to use. Navage works by pulling saline in one nostril, through the nose and out the other nostril, sucking out allergens, mucus, dust, and germs. Experience on-the-spot relief so you can breathe easier, sleep better, feel healthier.
Navage, now available at warehouse clubs.
Hello, this is Mike Huckabee. President Trump said he wants to take back the White House and teach our kids to love our country. That's why my team created a Kids Guide to President Trump. It'll teach your kids all about President Trump's accomplishments and his vision for America. And right now, I want to give it to you for free as part of this free gift bundle.
Order your free Kids Guide to President Trump, get a free bonus guide, and a free membership to AMAC featuring dozens of money-saving benefits at kidsneedtrump.com. That's kidsneedtrump.com.
What do you do when your tire goes flat and there's no air anywhere? You reach for Bullseye Pro, the smarter, faster, hands-free way to fill it up with air. Bullseye Pro is equipped with a rechargeable power plant, smart pressure sensor, and custom nozzles. It's like the power of an air compressor in the palm of your hand. Get your complete Bullseye Pro inflation system for just $79.99 and get free shipping. Plus, we'll give you a 50% discount on a second one. Order now.
The bathroom of your dreams is only a phone call away with BCI Bath and Shower. We can make your ordinary bath and shower extraordinary. This is not a cookie cutter design. This is a complete custom build that will fit your every need, and discounts for seniors and military.
Right, we are back. Amfest 2024, exciting day 4, the final day. President Trump scheduled to speak at 10 a.m. We will have that for you as soon as it happens. Joining me now is Ben Bergquam. You gave us a sneak peek inside earlier. Great production there at Turning Point. One of the best in the business. We're going to get to a clip here in a second that you did with Tom Homan, which in my opinion is going to be so fun to watch his department. But first, let's talk about this amazing book. We were talking to Dan earlier about the production value that went into this book and the people and the stories. You're a big part of the border. We've been talking about that. There's no one does border coverage like Ben Bergquam. And I sincerely mean that. You are on the border. You're unafraid. You have zero fear of what could happen.
Let me challenge you on that.
Okay.
I'm afraid a lot, but courage is the choice in what you do with the fear. And so I just pray for courage. I mean, there's a lot of times where I'm like, man, I don't want to do this. This is gnarly as hell. Yeah. Excuse my language on a Sunday, but I feel like God guides me where I'm supposed to go and gives me the courage when I need it and then gives me the wisdom to back out when I'm supposed to.
To know when you need to leave.
Yeah.
Okay. This book, Ben Bergquam, you've got a nice spread on there. Let's talk about, your picture for
one thing. I love this. I flipped it to it. By the way, shout out to Dan Fluette and of course, Steve Bannon and everybody at War Room. But that is, it's just honored. I'm honored to be in the shot, in the picture. And you got another one over there. I mean, you talk about, influential people in this fight. Well, I mean, to have me in the same book that we've got Marjorie Taylor Greene. Come on.
Yeah.
You can't beat that.
You can't beat that. I actually remember the hat here.
Oh, yeah. That's good.
She has on.
That is good.
How to pick up. It's just an amazing book, and it makes a terrific.
Yeah, if you guys don't have it, if you want something like to look at, I mean, there's tons and tons. You guys did that whole interview, but it's just a great coffee table book. You want something, it's like a Patriots guide to, who's in the fight.
Yeah, who's in a fight.
And it's still missing a lot of people. So this is round one. I think there's going to be more and more and more. I love it.
I love it too. Talking about the fight, no one is in the fight deeper than Tom Homan. You had a chance to sit down with him. Let's listen into some of what he had to say, and then on the backside, we'll talk about it.
So a lot of people are asking about that, and everyone here agrees with it. And it seems like I was just down 10-day trip in Mexico. They're still doing the CBP One app. First question, does that end on day one? Day one, CBP One's gone. Secondly, all those people are given stays of deportation, most of them 2 years. Can we annul that, or do each of those people, do we have to wait for that 2-year process for the parole?
It depends on the case, but when they're parole in place, President Trump can cancel those parole in place on day one.
Good. Praise the Lord. All right. Last thing, Congress. You guys are going to need some funding for this. You look at what they're doing. You look at the amount of money we've wasted on foreign wars overseas. You look at the billions of dollars, and you said it. And we got Chuck Schumer and all these scumbags out there saying, we can't spend the money on the deportation that Tom Homan's going to do and President Trump's going to do because it's going to cost too much money. We just spent billions and billions of dollars to invite the invasion into our country. Do you guys have the support of the Republicans, all of the Republicans, to support the funding of this removal? And if you don't, can you name names of the ones that this audience needs to contact to get their ass in gear?
If we don't get proper border funding, I don't care what part of it, and I'll call them out by name. Absolutely. Because the story is this operation is too expensive. Here's what you need to understand. The operation is very expensive. But it's going to be cheaper in the long run because right now we're flying them in. Like every illegal alien across the border gets a free airline ticket to the city of his choice. He gets a hotel room at $500 a night. He gets free meals a day. He gets free medical care. Then they get work authorization. They're spending billions of dollars right now in perpetuity. Because these people are going to be here forever, they think. Yeah. Right? So the money we spend on the educational system, the trauma centers and the hospitals, the social services, we're spending billions of dollars in perpetuity. This operation costs more, but in the long run it's going to save taxpayers money because we're not going to pay for this stuff anymore. We're going to enforce the laws and move them out of the country. So expensive operation, but in the long run, a tax savings. And look, you guys need to call your representative, even if they're Republicans. You need to demand they fund us properly to do this. If they don't fund us, if I can't buy enough beds, if I can't buy enough air transportation, ground transportation, we're going to be unsuccessful. That's why I'm pleading with members of Congress, give us the money we need to get our sovereignty back, make a safe border again, and save lives. Protect the American communities. There should be no cost. There's no cost on the life of Laken Riley and all the other young women that were raped and killed. There's no cost for the thousands of angel moms and dads who buried their children because their children were killed by someone that's supposed to be here. There's no cost on numerous public safety threats and national security threats, a record amount of criminals coming across the border. And let me say this. This Biden administration has created the biggest national security vulnerability we've ever seen on the southern border. Even the FBI director, who I don't like, even he agrees with me, this is the biggest national security issue this country faced. We got 2.2 million gotaways. Why do 2.2 million people pay more to get away? Why didn't they pay less to get the free airline ticket, the free hotel room, the free meals, the free medical care? Why did they pay more not to take advantage of the giveaway program? Because they didn't want to be vetted, they didn't want to be fingerprinted. Border Patrol's arrested people from 180 different countries. Some of these countries are sponsors of terror. If you don't think some of this 2.2 million people paid more to get away and not be vetted, then you're a moron.
Man, he is going to be instrumental in cleaning up this country.
He's the best. You know what? You talk about people that have an impact and just real people. I get to meet a lot of people. You get to meet a lot of people, but there are few people that I respect and have as high a bar as Tom Homan. That guy is no nonsense. He won't sugarcoat it. He's just going to bust heads and do the job.
Well, before he came on the set with you, I said, hey, you get a lot of pushback from the mainstream media and people on the left. You say, you know what, Brian? Every time they push back, I dig in deeper and I go harder, which is his personality. We come back. The biggest I think, shocking story of the day. Shocking. I have not known this. What surprised Ben and myself when we woke up this morning on Twitter and saw this in the headlines? That's coming up after the break.
You have a box of videotapes, film reels, or photos that are degrading? Legacy Box professionally converts them to DVDs, thumb drive, or the cloud. Legacy Box is simple and safe, with over 1 million satisfied customers. Visit legacybox.com today and get 60% off.
Why is Navage perfect for nasal congestion?
The most common complaint that I will hear in my office is, I have congestion. My nose is blocked. I cannot breathe. Using Navage makes the nose feel cleaner. It's effective. Navage is so simple to use. Navage works by pulling saline in one nostril, through the nose and out the other nostril, sucking out allergens, mucus, dust, and germs. Experience on-the-spot relief so you can breathe easier, sleep better, feel healthier.
Navage, now available at warehouse clubs.
Hello, this is Mike Huckabee. President Trump said he wants to take back the White House and teach our kids to love our country. That's why my team created a Kids Guide to President Trump. It'll teach your kids all about President Trump's accomplishments and his vision for America. And right now, I want to give it to you for free as part of this free gift bundle.
Order your free Kids Guide to President Trump, get a free bonus guide, and a free membership to AMAC featuring dozens of money-saving benefits at kidsneedtrump.com. That's kidsneedtrump.com.
What do you do when your tire goes flat and there's no air anywhere? You reach for Bullseye Pro, the smarter, faster, hands-free way to fill it up with air. Bullseye Pro is equipped with a rechargeable power plant, smart pressure sensor, and custom nozzles. It's like the power of an air compressor in the palm of your hand. Get your complete Bullseye Pro inflation system for just $79.99 and get free shipping. Plus, we'll give you a 50% discount on a second one. Order now.
The bathroom of your dreams is only a phone call away with BCI Bath and Shower. We can make your ordinary bath and shower extraordinary. This is not a cookie cutter design. This is a complete custom build that will fit your every need, and discounts for seniors and military.
All right, welcome back. Ben Borquam, Brian Glenn here live with you in Phoenix, downtown Phoenix Convention Center, which, by the way, shout out to the city of Phoenix. Every time I come to this city, it's absolutely beautiful. No trash on the ground. I'm serious, no trash. We go to every major city in the U.S., you and I.
It is a prettier of the cities now. You go a couple blocks to the east or to the west, and it's Bum Central. This is actually where bums come to winter. I don't know if you knew that.
I did not know that.
Actually, there's a whole traffic, there's a whole logistics, weather pattern, you know, like the geese go north and south. Bums come to Phoenix because it's a beautiful winter, and then they go back to their cities. They go back to California, and they keep claiming their checks the entire year.
I got you. Well,
it's crazy.
It's a great city, and I feel safe here, which is good. Yeah. Which is great.
Great new sheriff, by the way.
Great new sheriff.
Constitutional sheriff just got elected. It's going to be great.
All right. One of the stories that we woke up this morning, we got here on the set, we were just scrolling through X, was a story about Congresswoman Kay Granger from Texas that has been living in a memory care center for the last 4 months and has been a no vote, basically missing for 4 months. And so that brings up the conversation, A, why haven't we heard about this before?
Well, how? One word, how? Everything is leaked in Washington, D.C. Everything, and fake leaks, things about Republicans, things about President Trump. How has this woman been in an assisted care living memory center for 4 months and nobody knows about it till today?
Yeah, and have not voted on anything. You know, I am blown away on that because
Brian, can we talk about term limits? I mean,
well, that was going to lead me into the next conversation about, because I go to Mitch McConnell and he's had a couple of episodes at a press conference and then fell down some stairs not too long ago. You know, God bless him. I'm not making fun of that at all. I'm really not. But when does it come to the point we say, if you can't walk and you can't speak and you can't remember anything, you probably shouldn't be an elected member of Congress or the Senate or on any level to guide this country and policies? 3
examples: Kay Granger, Mitch McConnell, Joe Biden. Now, in Joe Biden's case, again, we were talking about that a lot yesterday. That's these people and these security councils and in his cabinet, they have the duty if they believe there's an issue and that he is not able to perform the functions of the presidency, the most important job in the world, they have a duty to say something. They not only didn't say something, they covered it up.
Yeah, the information of that.
And you look at 435 members of Congress, that one or two or more of those could be impaired. We have 300 million plus people in America. Those are the people that are making decisions about all of our lives. We shouldn't find this out 4 months late.
Yeah, I go to the Capitol just about every day that I'm in D.C., and I see a lot of the members walk into the chamber to vote whenever they're in session. I am shocked at the number of members that are wheeled in a wheelchair, not because they can't walk, it's because they're 90-something years old. It is beyond belief, like you said, in this day and age.
It just has to stop.
It has to stop. And I don't know how they keep winning re-elections, but I can tell you one thing. We talked about the CR, this 1,500-page originally this bill was. It's written by staff members. It's remembered by interns.
And lobbyists.
And half the time the member doesn't even know exactly what's in there. All their staff members write that. So that's how Kay Granger.
Half the time, I worked for a rep in California. You obviously are very close with many of the reps in Washington, D.C. Most of the time, and this is on both sides, they don't know. The members really don't know what they're voting for. None of them have read it. I mean, a 1,500-page bill, none of the elected officials that are voting on that bill have read the entire bill, ever.
Yeah.
Ever. Their staff, they rely on their staff.
But the staff, let's talk about the age of these staffers a lot of times. It's staffers in their 20s, early 30s. If you look President Trump likes to, and I've heard him say this, it's called the 3 M's: mortgage, munchkins, and marriage. Those are the 3 things. Until you kind of experience 1, 2, or all 3 of those, you're not likely being that much engaged in until you have a house, maybe you don't care about the interest rates.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't care about that. You don't have munchkins, maybe you don't care about our schools.
Transgender,
and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And then marriage, of course, male, female, the sanctity of marriage in the Bible, for biblically speaking. So there's a lot of things on that. So that 1,500-page document, quite honestly, a lot of those members might not have even read. Okay, so term limits. Let us know on social media. Do you think there should be term limits in our government? I got a case for and against. I feel like if someone's not doing the job, we should just vote them out of office instead of having term limits. There's
arguments on both sides. I mean, you can say, I totally agree with you. There are some, and it really comes down to the people. I mean, you keep electing them. You're right. I mean, we have to do a better job at vetting, but there's also the other side of that. Once you're in a position, it's very hard to, as an incumbent, the road is much easier for you to win again than somebody just coming in. So I'm torn on it. I mean, I think it should, generally speaking, maybe, and I don't want to get into ageism, but there may be an age. I don't want to say age limit, but there's got to be a competency test at some point where we say, you can't perform the functions, you got to be out. But again, you said it. They keep electing these people outside of voter fraud. They keep electing them.
Oh, that's a big part of it. And you look how the media covered up Joe Biden's cognitive decline. We knew it was there. They failed to even recognize it until they had to recognize it, and they escorted him out. Now, before we go to this Carrie Lake, and we've got a little sound from Carrie Lake. What was the fact that term limits, voting them out of office, all that it's voter. You have to be engaged with the voting process, and more people we get engaged in these stories like this, the more opportunity to change things. But unfortunately, that's one of the things that Turning Point does.
I've talked to a lot of people too. When we're talking about raising the salary of these people, what I would really love to go back to is part-time representation.
That's what it used to be.
That's what it used to be.
But until
you would come to Washington, all of the founding fathers, they would go to Washington for a period, and then they'd go back to most of the time they didn't get paid, or they got paid a stipend. They weren't living on their government job. They weren't living as a politician. They'd have to go back to their district. They'd have to work for a living. And then 4 months out of the year, they'd go and vote on bills that they had a direct impact in their life. I'd like to go back to something like that.
Let me ask you this before we go to the Carrie Lake sound. Joe Biden flew back to the White House. Kamala Harris returned from California back to D.C. for whatever reason. Could we be seeing a transition of power from Joe Biden to Kamala Harris.
By the way, as we're talking, Ted Cruz just walked by. Senator Ted Cruz is heading in there. So, yeah, I think going back to, and he'll be up on stage here in just a few minutes, I think that my guess is...
I mean, I'm going down a rabbit hole here.
Yeah. No, so my guess, if I were a betting person, I think the Democrats want to get Joe Biden out before the inauguration so they can say they got the first female president. They're going to install Kamala Harris for 2 weeks and say we got the first female black president in office, just so they can check the box, the token box.
All right. Okay. So yesterday we sat down with, I call it the great Carrie Lake, and she has been such an instrumental voice here in Arizona. We talked about her new role within the Trump administration. Take a listen.
I've met so many great people, and what's cool about this crowd is it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. This movement has grown into, it's not Republican versus Democrat. It's people who love America and want to save our country, and more people are coming over. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, and you've got, well, speaking about that, you know, it's interesting. You look at who Charlie has on stage right now. You got Cenk on stage right now, the Young Turks up there. Who would have ever thought that the Young Turks would be at Amfest 2024? And there's a shift happening in America. There is an awakening. Now, he's still socialist. He still has a lot of room to grow. But there's an awakening, I think, that there's a part of the populace that is ripe for picking, for waking up to what's actually been happening. And I think your race out here, if you ever had a fair race in Arizona, if you didn't have election theft where they stole it in 2022 and they stole it again in this one, I think much more of the country is waking up to this because this is the new cultural revolution. Am I wrong?
I agree with you. And I saw Cenk in there and I said, am I at the right convention? What's going on? But I'm really happy to see that. We've got to eventually welcome all Americans into this. It's a big tent. If you love America and want to see better days ahead, my opinion is we welcome you. And so I applaud him for waking up to the fact that this is where the direction America's going. I mean, if he wants to survive, you either can go into oblivion by continuing to beat the horse, the dead horse of socialism and communism, or you can wake up, become aware of what's happening in our country and come on around. And so I'm happy to see these coming around and waking up to that.
Yeah, she is going to really change things in terms of the media and her new role. I'm looking forward to that. Another person we talked to yesterday was from my home state, the great state of Texas, Attorney General Ken Paxton. Now, about a year and a half ago, they tried to get him kicked out of there.
You talk about weaponization of, but real quick, Carrie Lake, before we get to Ken Paxton. Carrie Lake, what a fighter. She would have been an amazing governor of Arizona. But you talk about God's timing on everything. They stole the election in 2022 of her governor race. She would have been an amazing governor. I personally, when she ran for Senate, honestly, I look at Senate. People ask me if I want to run for office ever. To me, it's the most boring job in the world. I think unless you're a narcissist, I don't see any reason to be a senator. It just seems incredibly boring. But some people may love it. I think this job for Carrie Lake, if Carrie Lake can go in there, because she's a media person. She's a media personality. She was the biggest name in Arizona media before she stepped into politics. That's how she got the name. And I think this job for her, you talk about having an impact in culture, changing the dynamic of our national media as a whole. I'm incredibly excited about that. But you're right. I mean, Ken Paxton, President Trump, think about everybody, Steve Bannon, everybody who this Injustice Department has weaponized against their political opponents. And what's ironic to me, Brian, is now they're saying, oh, well, President Trump better not weaponize the Justice Department. Excuse me. Screw you to everybody out there who's saying anything about President Trump weaponizing the Justice Department. No, and complaining about retribution. Excuse me. And again, on a Sunday morning, it's called justice. It's called divine justice. And it's time to hold the people accountable for doing what they did, trying to destroy people's lives, trying to get people killed. Marjorie Taylor Greene. I mean, how many times has she been swatted? It's just
dozens.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, dozens. It is unbelievable. Well, Ken Paxton survived an impeachment opportunity about a year and a half ago. We talked to him about that and a whole lot more. Listen in.
Well, the number one issue on the ballot was closing the border with the economy. A lot of Americans spoke up, and Texas saw that firsthand. So just give us a run through over the past 4 years under the Biden administration with the open border in Texas.
Honestly, it was shocking because Trump had done such a good job shutting the border down. Unlike any other Democrat or Republican president, he really did follow the law and enforce the law. And of course, he was doing things proactively, like building a wall. And then to see on day one, not a week into it, not a month into it, on day one, Joe Biden announces to the world that he's not going to deport anybody. And that began our lawsuit, our first lawsuit against the Biden administration. And we've been in that battle ever since.
Yeah. And one of the battles that's taking place right now, a lot of people may not know about it, is the speaker race in Texas. Now, about a year and a half ago, Dade Phelan attempted to remove you, my attorney general in Texas, away from the people who elected you to be there. It was all personal. It was a vendetta. It didn't work. But let's talk about the status right now of that speaker race.
Yeah, so that was 4.5 months after I got elected, right after the people of Texas overwhelmingly elected me. And he, in conjunction with the Biden administration, and I believe Karl Rove, manipulated this process, it wasn't a process, to take me out. So since then, I went and campaigned against some of these House members, and we've taken out 24 of them that didn't come back. And so now Dade Phelan is not going to be speaker, but there's still a battle as to whether we're going to have a speaker elected by the Republicans or whether the Democrats are going to largely influence the Republican who gets that.
Great conversation there. For more of that, go to some of our social media pages. But right now, let's toss it to the stage. Senator Ted Cruz, scheduled to speak.
Transforming and creating the United States of America. If you were young and passionate and the year was 1980 and the Reagan Revolution was happening, you would have been part of transforming the United States of America. And today, in 2024, you are young and passionate, and every one of you is integral to transforming the United States of America. The Washington swamp is terrified of you. Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi and Kamala Harris are terrified of you. Joe Biden, well, no, he's actually not terrified. He doesn't know where he is. But he is wondering what time the People's Court is on TV. If you look at what happened in November, the results of the election were clear and unequivocal. 7 battleground states across America. We won all 7. And I've got to say, Donald J. Trump is truly an extraordinary leader. Has there ever been anyone in American history who, after being shot in the head, stands up and responds, "Fight, fight, fight"? The American people have given us the White House. They've given us the House. They've given us the Senate. Now, it's time for us to deliver. We have work to do to deliver on our promises, so a year from now, 2 years from now, 4 years from now, the American people can say they did exactly what they said they would do. Number one, starting on January 20th, we will secure the border. Catch and release ends on January 20th. If you are an illegal alien, if you're a murderer, if you're a rapist, if you're a child molester, if you're a Venezuelan gang member, pack your bags because you're getting the hell out. And I'm here to tell you that's not going to take a year. It's not going to take 6 months. We are going to see the numbers of illegal immigration plummet, and they are going to plummet in January and February of this year. Number two, we are going to unleash American energy. America is the world's energy superpower, the number one producer of oil in the world, the number one producer of natural gas in the world, and America will be energy dominant. If you're fed up with high prices at the gas pump, high prices at the grocery store, high prices when you pay your bills, energy feeds into every one of them. The American people in this election said enough is enough is enough, and we are going to lower energy costs and make life more affordable for everyone. Number three, we are going to unleash small business. The regulators descending from Washington, we are going to repeal the rules they're using to kill small businesses. And I'll tell you what, we are also going to unleash crypto. I'm proud to stand with crypto. I'm proud to stand with Bitcoin, and I am the only member of the United States Senate who is in fact a Bitcoin miner. I've got 3 miners hashing in West Texas right now, and it is beautiful. And let me say to all of crypto and all of Bitcoin, come to Texas. Texas is the oasis for Bitcoin. Number 4, we will restore integrity to the Department of Justice and the FBI. If you are a wild-eyed partisan who has abused your power and targeted your political enemies at DOJ or the FBI, well, pack your bags because your job is done. And that means, number 5, we will enforce the law, especially against universities across this country. The anti-Semitic protests we've seen at universities will end next year. If you violently protest, if you threaten your fellow students, you will be arrested, you will be expelled, and if you're a foreigner, you will be deported. And we're going to see the Department of Justice and the FBI follow the money, go after the money, cut off the money. We're going to see universities that tolerate anti-Semitism having their federal funds cut off. And when your fellow students look around and say, hey, why didn't this happen before? Why did everyone look the other way at the violence and the threats and the hatred and the bigotry? You're going to be in a position to tell them. And we will end the wars with victory. The war in Ukraine will end this next year, and Vladimir Putin will lose. And the war in Israel will come to an end, and Hamas will lose. Hezbollah will lose. Iran will lose. Every one of you stand up and speak, and I want to encourage you, inform your friends. I want to ask you, pull out your cell phone. Pull out your cell phone and send the word, text the word verdict to the number 24005. That number again, 24005. Text the word verdict. You will get back a link to subscribe to my podcast that is designed to help inform you you are the ones who won this election. You are the ones who are persuading your colleagues. You are the ones who are informed and educated and engaged. And just as if we were in 1980, just as if we were in 1776, I stand here today amazed and inspired to be in the company of patriots who love America, who together we are making America great again. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.
Incoming Trump border czar Tom Homan is here.
There is nobody better at policing and controlling our borders.
When the president asked you to out of the gate, we're concentrating on public safety threats and national security threats. Look, I love my country. The calling is clear. I got to go back and help because every morning I'm pissed off about what this administration did to the most secure border in my lifetime. I got a message to the millions of illegal aliens that Joe Biden's releasing our country. You better start packing now. I'm going to do this job. Those people say they're going to stop us from what they're doing. They will not. How you doing? So look, if I offend anybody today, I don't care. Some of the media says I'm offensive. I'm okay with that. If I get to live in their minds rent-free, that's kind of cool. Hey, look, for the last 3.5 years, I wake up every morning pissed off about what this administration did to the most secure border in my lifetime. I've worked for 6 presidents, starting with Ronald Reagan, and every president I worked for took steps to secure the border because they understood you can't have strong national security if you don't have border security. We didn't know who's coming in, what's coming in, where it's coming in. No one was better than President Trump. He was one badass president who secured the border at unprecedented levels. Illegal immigration at a 45-year low. Illegal immigration down 83 to 90%. Extraordinary work. Joe Biden is the first president in history of this nation who came into office and unsecured the border on purpose. Not by mismanagement, not by incompetence. They unsecured the border by design. The first day I smiled when President Trump won this election. I woke up the next morning, I was happy. I smiled for the first time in a long time. Then I got angry again. Because even though they lost the election, they're still moving thousands of illegal aliens in this country every day. CBP-1 app's still running. They're selling pieces of the border wall, for God's sakes, that you, the American taxpayers, paid for at a hefty price, and now we got buyed again. There is no smooth transition. They're going to destroy this country up to the last day they're in the Oval Office. But I got news for them. January 20th, the greatest president in my lifetime is going to walk into the Oval Office and take this country back. President Trump called me a few Fridays ago and says, okay, you've been bitching about the border for 4 years. You want to come fix it? I said, absolutely. I'm back. I got to learn how to retire. This is the second time I unretired to come back for this president. But I love this president because he loves this country. I love this president because he wants to secure the border. I love this president because securing the border saves lives. What Joe Biden did by unsecuring the border is this. Sex trafficking, up over 600%. Known as suspected terrorists, people on the terrorist watch list, well over 300 apprehended. President Trump, in 4 years, we had 13. We ended catch and release. Joe Biden's released at least 8 million illegal aliens in this country in violation of federal law. And I said it before, for the millions of illegal aliens that have been released in this country in violation of federal law, you're going home, and Tom Homan's going to make sure that happens. Think about this for a moment, what they did. They created the biggest national security vulnerability this nation's ever seen. I already said they arrested over 300 people on the terrorist watch list. But there's over 2 million known gotaways. Why did 2 million people pay more to get away? Why didn't they pay less to be turned over to the Border Patrol, be released within 24 hours, get a free airline ticket to the city of their choice, get a free hotel room at $500 a night, get 3 square meals a day, get free medical attention, and get work authorization within 120 days? Why did they pay more not to take advantage of this free giveaway program? Because they didn't want to be vetted. They didn't want to be fingerprinted. These are your gang members. These are the ones carrying fentanyl across the border, and these are people from terrorist-related countries. After 9/11, we created all these databases. You got the FBI screening database. You got the DOD intel database. You got the visa security program, which stopped thousands of people from getting a visa to come to the United States like the terrorists of 9/11 did. So we vet them now, and we vet through the process. You don't get a visa if we find derogatory information in your background. But what terrorist today is going to put himself in a position to ask for a visa or ask for an airline ticket when he can simply go to Mexico and be a part of that 2 million gotaway? I don't know how many terrorists cross this border under Joe Biden, but someday we're going to find out, and it's going to be a bad day for America. When that happens, we're going to have one badass president in the White House, and that's Donald Trump, who's going to make sure we respond appropriately. People always ask me why I take this so seriously, and people say, Tom Homan's a racist, Tom Homan's a national. Say whatever you want. I don't give a shit. Why do I care? I care because I stood in the back of a tractor trailer with 19 dead aliens that suffocated and baked to death, including a 5-year-old little boy that died in his father's arms. Throughout my career, I've seen tragedies, held dying children. I've seen dead aliens on the trail. I've talked to little girls as young as 9 years old that were raped multiple times by criminal cartels. They're animals. When you look into a little girl's eyes, 9 years old, and who had adults take everything innocent and pure from her, you look in those eyes, and those eyes have no life in them. Her life will never be the same. That's what pisses me off, because President Trump had us locked down. He had it locked down. And this administration came in and unlocked it. People die on the border every day. Women are sex trafficked in this country every day. That's why I'm pissed off. And that's why the best day of my life was President Trump getting reelected to save lives. A secure border saves lives. It isn't rocket science. I get fired up all over again. You Trump, Trump, Trump. That's right. President Trump's going to make this country safe again. President Trump's going to make our border great again. President Trump's going to decrease illegal migrant crime at unprecedented rates, because out of the gate, day one, we're going to focus on public safety threats and national security threats. They're first. They're coming first. And Tren de Agua, your days are numbered. My gang's bigger than your gang. And we're going to take you out of the country. We're going to port you out of here. Who do you think think you are, coming to the greatest nation on earth and victimizing Americans in this country? Your days are numbered. You're number one on the list. MS-13, you're right behind them. To the sanctuary cities who want to attack me every day so you can put roadblocks up, you're not going to assist us. Shame on you. Shame on any elected representative, any congressman, council person, any mayor, any governor who don't want to remove public safety threats from your community, and they're here illegally. That is your number one responsibility, is protect your communities. So if you're not going to do it, President Trump and ICE will. The mayor of Chicago, not a real bright guy, says Tom Homan isn't welcome in Chicago. Well, guess where Tom Homan's going to be day one? Chicago, Illinois. You don't want me there? Come get me. The people of Chicago have spoken. I went there a few weeks ago. The black community's upset. The whole community's upset because violent crime is up. And millions of dollars in public services are being given to people who are not supposed to be here. Meanwhile, the tax-paying community that is in a bad way because the Biden administration's economic plans, they're getting robbed every day by giving millions of dollars to people that aren't supposed to be here. That's not the way it's supposed to be, folks. It's not okay to be in this country illegally. It's not okay to enter this country illegally. It's a crime to enter this country illegally. Now, let me continue to educate sanctuary cities. You want to not help? Fine. Shame on you. If you don't want to protect your communities, shame on you. But we're going to do it for you. You're not going to stop me. We're coming. So put up all the roadblocks you want, because we'll knock them down. And don't cross that line. People say Homan threatened to prosecute everybody in the world. I'm not threatening to prosecute anybody. What I'm saying is there's a line. You don't want to help, that's fine. But there's two statutes you need to be familiar with. One's 8 U.S.C. 1324 III. If you knowingly impede, if you knowingly harbor and conceal an illegal alien from ICE, that is a felony, and there will be consequences. Now let me make it clear. The governor says I don't have the authority to do that. Well, no shit. I'm not a U.S. attorney, but U.S. attorney certainly does. And we will ask for prosecution. We will not let you prevent us from saving the American communities from illegal alien crime. It's not going to happen. We're going, we're coming. So even though I say we're going to prioritize criminal threats and national security threats out of the gate, that's a fact. However, when sanctuary cities won't let us into the jail to arrest the bad guy in the safety and security of that county jail, which means they're going to release that criminal back into the immigrant community, which puts the immigrant community at risk of crime. It puts our officers at great risk. Rather than arresting a guy in the safety and security of a county jail where he don't have weapons, now we got to go to the community, find him. We ask access to who knows what weapons. You're putting the community at risk. You're putting officers at risk. You're putting the alien at risk. And I'm going to give you exactly what you don't want. You don't want us in jail? All right, so I'll send a whole bunch of agents into your community, and we'll find the bad guy. And when we find the bad guy, he's probably going to be with others that aren't a priority apprehension, but guess what? They're getting arrested too. So you'll get exactly what you don't want, more arrests in your communities. I don't want to do that. I'd much rather be safe with the agents to arrest the guy in the county jail, but they don't let us in? Fine. You're not going to stop us. We'll go to the community, and we will find him. You're not going to stop us. Put all the roadblocks you want. It's not going to work. We're going to do this because the American people demand it. You gave President Trump a mandate, and we're going to make sure that mandate's held up. President Trump's backstage. President Trump's backstage. And let me say, I want to say one thing in closing. And I said it at the RNC and I meant it. The criminal cartels in Mexico have killed more Americans than every terrorist organization in the world combined. Over 250,000 young Americans have died from fentanyl poisonings. President Trump's going to hold China accountable for creating the precursors he's selling to the cartels. President Trump's going to hold Mexico accountable for not doing anything about these criminal cartels. President Trump's going to designate them terrorist organizations. And we're going to wipe them off the face of the earth. Criminal cartels keep making, I got numerous death threats. Criminal cartels, you make death threats against me, bring it. Because the greatest country on the face of this earth is going to put you out of business and put you in prison. If Mexico don't do it, the United States will. President Trump will. Are you ready to secure the border? Then get on your feet. Are you ready to secure the border? Are you ready for the biggest deportation operation you've ever seen? Are you ready for President Trump to walk on this stage? God bless you. God bless America.
All right, back here outside on the set of Amfest 2024, day 4. The excitement's there. The people are pouring in this facility, the convention center. We've seen the doors.
Full.
It is full. It's definitely filling up inside, which we knew it would. Ben Burkhardt, Brian Glenn joining you on this final day here. And I will say this, the lines outside to get in here started forming around, 11 o'clock last night that you reported.
That was the first I heard. I was walking in this morning and I got the number 11 o'clock. Which, Trump rally, it's kind of similar. People camped out. I mean, this is one of those things. It's you don't see this. The political energy behind President Trump is a once, not even a generation. This is a 100-year kind of thing. The energy behind him, and that's continuing. And that's one of the things people ask: are we going to keep doing rallies? People want to still do rallies.
I don't want rallies, and I'll be the first one to tell you. I want to get down to work.
Enough of them.
I'm done with the cheerleading. I'm done with the hoo-ha. I want to get to work. That's just me, because I think that it's been a long time coming. Yes, he's done 180 something rallies, and the people love him. Don't get me wrong, people love the rallies, but I'm all about the work now.
A couple a year, maybe one a year.
Maybe one a year.
Go out there, get to the people.
I am hearing of one coming up very soon. We'll find out about that, but we're excited. Of course, this is the first big speech that President Trump will make post-election. He's done some smaller speeches, but nothing like the size we have today. And I'm imagining it's going to be a little bit of a newsy speech from what I've been told. That's going to maybe announce a few things that he's going to focus on in the very beginning. And I've got the notes, but I'm not sure if it's public to share those.
Yeah, well, I'm just going to say this. So we were talking about Joe Biden and the Democrats selling off parts of the wall. These traitors, they're traitors to our country. They've destroyed our country on purpose. But you look at a few places, one of the areas that I've covered extensively, we've done more, myself and Oscar Blue Ramirez, than anybody. We've gone across the Darien Gap 4 times. Panama is a place to keep your eye on, in particular the Panama Canal. So keep a listen out for that, what that means, the impacts that has geopolitically. Basically, China's taken it over. Now, we have great relations with Panama right now, myself, our network, because of the work we've done in the Darien Gap. But that's one of those things when America gave up the Panama Canal under Jimmy Carter, we handed it over to them. Basically, China's come in and taken it over. And so there's a lot geopolitically that's going on. Obviously, you just had Tom Homan, the fighter for our borders, what President Trump's going to do with that. But it's not just on our southern border. It's not just in America. You have to go to all these countries that have been inviting the invasion. You have to go to the United Nations, basically divest from the United Nations. There's a lot of stuff that has to happen.
Yeah, one of the things that we were talking about in the break is really this The Inauguration Day, January 20th, of course, Real America's Voice will have complete coverage on the ground there. We'll be all over the National Mall. But on January 3rd, that's when we have the speaker race. And of course, Mike Johnson, presumably will be the first, nominee to be selected, re-voted in as Speaker of the House. But there's so much controversy swirling around that. Names like Elon Musk, and I think that were tossed out initially as almost just an example of a challenge.
I mean, we just had Ivan Ranklin, who's standing right over here. He's, talking about Elon Musk. I never thought about Elon as a contender, but it's interesting because you think about what makes people vote for a speaker. And most people don't realize this. It's leverage.
Yeah.
What do they have on you?
Well, we'll get
that's really what it comes down to.
That's kind of what it does get down to. We'll get a little bit more to that. We're going to go ahead and toss to a quick commercial timeout, and we'll get back to the action here. Charlie Kirk is scheduled to speak right before President Trump. Looks like we're tracking here locally, 10:07. That's coming up ahead of the break. Stick around.
When the kids turn unholy, Harrelson's Own keeps my patience divine.
When work flies out of control, Harrelson's Own keeps me cool as a cucumber.
The device madness never ends, but Harrelson's Own keeps me zen.
Life can be chaotic, but Harrelson's Own CBD helps keep you calm through any storm. Harrelson's Own consistently delivers your full mind and body homeostasis. It's an organic, full-spectrum CBD in a refreshing oral spray. Our nano-emulsified technology makes it completely water-soluble, so your body absorbs it immediately. You'll start to feel it in seconds, not 60 minutes. It just makes everything feel better.
And it helps me just take the edge off. It helps me relax. It helps me be there with my kids.
I swear I'm like a mental ninja. Like nothing can throw me off balance.
No matter how many things come at me, I'm like, boom, handled, next. I'm like crushing it all day long.
Well, some people take it for a release from stress. Some take it to get rid of pain. Others just take it for general well-being. For me, Brett Harrelson, it just makes everything about my day a little better.
Give your life a boost.
It's just the best you've ever felt in your natural state.
My happiness in a bottle is the best.
So to sum it all up, you're going to feel the benefits quickly, love the way it feels, and like the way it tastes. Pay a fair price, and you're going to thank us for it. We are so confident you're going to be satisfied that we back every bottle with a 60-day, 100% money-back guarantee. Give Harrelson's Own a try, from our family to yours. Go to HO.com to order Harrelson's Own now. Yep, it's that easy. Just our initials, HO.com.
Christmas is here and America just received its best gift. Now your kids can too with the Kids Guide to President Trump Christmas Gift Bundle, including a free President Trump ornament. Supplies are limited, so visit TrumpChristmasGift.com. That's TrumpChristmasGift.com.
Why is Navage trusted by millions?
Before Navage, I was not living my best life because I could not breathe. Constant nasal congestion, constant blowing of the nose. And the huge difference is the fact that Navage pulls it out. It's very gentle in the sense of when that suction happens, it's literally grabbing that water and that mucus and it's bringing it out into this tank. It's worth every penny that you pay for it. This product changed my life.
Navage, now available at warehouse clubs.
There's an invisible gap in your home's defenses, a gap that can be financially devastating. The gap is the unprotected title to your home. Criminals can transfer your home title into their name, take out loans, and even try to sell your home. The FBI calls it house stealing. Protect yourself with Home Title Lock. Every year, county officials record tens of millions of changes to home titles. Is your home still in your name? Find out now at HometitleLock.com.
I got this $1,000 camera for only $41 on DealDash.
DealDash.com. Online auctions since 2009. This PlayStation 5 sold for only 50 cents. This iPad Pro sold for less than $34. And this Nintendo Switch sold for less than $20.
I got this KitchenAid stand mixer for only $56. I got this barbecue smoker for $26.
And shipping is always free.
Go to DealDash.com right now and see how much you can save.
Western North Carolina.
Yeah.
East Palestine. all of these places that were destroyed under the Democrats' watch, under Pete Buttigieg's watch, and have still FEMA. Where's FEMA? All this stuff, this talk about the funding FEMA. We have to fund FEMA because they're the ones, we got to get extra money. You know where FEMA's money went? To illegal aliens. The last 4 years, we have wasted billions of dollars. Our federal government has used our federal emergency relief funds to house and invite the invasion of our country. These guys are just traitors. They're absolute traitors. I cannot wait for January 20th when we take this country back. By the way, I'm excited for Christmas, but one of the things I'm really excited for, we haven't announced this yet. We're still working on the details, but we're going to be doing a road to the inauguration, taking my family, talking about this America the Beautiful, showing what makes America great. We're going to be taking the family, the whole family to the inauguration. We're going to be stopping in North Carolina. We're going to be stopping in East Palestine and these places, some of the places along the way to get to Washington, D.C., to tell the stories that the mainstream media doesn't want to tell and that the federal government has caused.
That is a great idea. You're breaking it right here on the show.
Right here, baby.
Taking the family. Dress warm, because I know that January 20th, the last inauguration day for Joe Biden, I was with President Trump at Joint Base Andrews when he left out for the last time. The hardest broadcast I've ever done, actually, was that, and then January 6th.
It was so cold.
So cold.
So cold.
I'm really praying for some warmer weather coming up this year. But it's going to be a very historic day. You can obviously join us as we will bring you continual coverage from that. Another big story, obviously, we talked to Ken Paxton about was the speaker fight down in Texas. Dade Phelan having attempted to basically take out Ken Paxton. Well, that has reversed, and now that he will not be reelected as Speaker of the House of Texas, that has big implications there. We'll keep an eye on the speaker race, because Texas is one of those states that we've always told is going to be purple. It's turning blue, and that's simply not the case. I know we've had a lot of different counties and different districts in Texas continually to go red. You're in Arkansas. You want to give us a quick? Obviously, you've got a great governor there. You can't beat that.
But yes, so one thing we have to be aware of, and in particular going forward, even red states are under attack by the left. I live in a very, very red part of a very, very red state. And I have billboards up, vote Democrat, for humanity, for law and order, for all the cliche BS that they push out there. They aren't stopping. All the inner cities across America, it's all the liberal churches, it's liberation theology, all of this stuff. They're not stopping. We have to, as one of the funny old podcasts I used to watch called All Gas, No Brakes, we have to have that mindset from now till forever. Outside of Christmas, I know you said shut it off, go home, enjoy your family. But when we get back into the fight, we just have to have that mindset. We're going to win. We're going to go until we win, till we save it for our kids and our grandkids.
No, I agree with you. And it's really funny when we ask people all the time, what should President Trump do on day one? That's one of my favorite questions to ask people, and we get a lot of responses. But I kind of want to go scorched earth, because for 4 years we've been kicked in the mouth. We've been told that we were the conspiracy theorists, and we've got a list. This is really funny. Maybe the next segment we will do that, and we're going to go over the stories that we were told were true.
Oh my gosh!
And they were completely debunked. Maybe we'll do that here in a second. But first, we did sit down with Erica Kirk yesterday. Had a great conversation. We'll get notice that Charlie Kirk is taking the stage. Just go ahead and take it on the main stage here at Amfest.
Okay, I'm the only one standing in the way of hearing from the 45th and 47th President of the United States. So I'm not going to talk long. I just want to say I am so thankful that all of you have worked so hard to get Donald Trump back in the White House. In this state, this is the best performing swing state with a 5.5-point victory. We have all 50 states represented here in this grassroots movement of the greatest American comeback in the history of our country. I truly believe that President Trump, throughout these last couple of years, overcoming all these odds, is one of the greatest stories ever told. And let's just say thank you, God, for giving us Donald Trump and giving our country back. Ladies and gentlemen, you're about to witness history, the 45th and 47th President of the United States.
If there was one thing that you wanted people to remember about Donald Trump, what is it?
Never, ever give up.
Over the years, I've surprised a lot of people. The biggest surprise is yet to come. You are about to begin the greatest adventure of your life.
The biggest political phoenix from the ashes story ever.
I am officially running for President of the United States.
Transformation from businessman to reality TV star.
We can now project the winner of the presidential race. Donald Trump wins the presidency.
This is a man's world. We've been through so much together.
This is a guy who has had arrows thrown at him. Democrats have tried to put him in jail, bankrupt.
But it wouldn't mean nothing. We overcame obstacles that nobody thought possible.
The subject of Russia investigation, 2 impeachments, 2 assassination attempts, 91 indictments, convictions. There is almost nothing that hasn't been thrown at this former president.
For the past 9 years, we have been fighting against the most sinister and corrupt forces on earth.
When they couldn't beat him, they tried to bankrupt him. When that didn't work, they tried to put him in federal prison.
Hello, Butler. Hello.
When that didn't work, they even tried to kill him.
They just tried to kill President Trump. Many people have told me that God spared my life for a reason. And that reason was to save our country and to restore America to greatness. Together we will write the next chapter of the great American story.
Donald Trump accepted his 3rd Republican presidential nomination days after an assassin attempted to take his life. President Biden has just announced that he is ending his re-election bid. Kamala Harris has become the Democratic nominee.
You think about all the times the media wrote the obituary of Donald Trump's political career.
And everybody was wrong.
We together are going to register new voters, chase ballots, vote early. We are going to do the work to save America.
President Trump will win the state of Pennsylvania.
Winner of Michigan, and they're just a few electoral votes away now from clinching to 70.
We will take back our country.
We are now projecting
And we will make
that the next president of the United States
America
is
great again. America's comeback starts right now.
Trust Donald Trump.
Donald Trump returning to the White House as the 47th president of the United States.
His comeback victory unlike anything we have ever seen in American history.
It was the most successful citizen revolt. The people defeated the oligarchs.
History looks back on Donald Trump. He will be one of the greatest leaders this world has
Will
ever seen.
forever be remembered as the day the American people regained control of their country.
Republicans will pull off a political trifecta, controlling the House, the Senate, and the White House.
I am with you, I will fight for you, and I will win for you.
President Trump is putting together a brilliant cabinet of fantastic America First fighters.
With you at my side, we're going to unlock America's glorious destiny, demolish the deep state. This will truly be the golden age of America. Our best days are yet to come.
Ladies and gentlemen, now welcome to the stage the 45th and 47th President of the United States of America, Donald J. Trump.
God bless Well, hello, Arizona. It's great to be here. Nice to win the election. That's very nice to win. And I want to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas. They don't say that too much anymore. We say it. And when I had all that smoke backstage, I said, hey, are there any steps in front of me? I don't want to go down. I go down, that would not be good. We don't want to do that, nice and slow. But I just want to thank you. What a beautiful production this is. What a great job the whole group does. And been amazing. Turning Point's been amazing. And it's really been tremendous numbers of American patriots. It's really been great. And you saw what happened last month. And we had Turning Point's grassroots army. It's an army. They turned out to vote. And they voted in record numbers. And everybody else voted in record numbers, too, I have to tell you. And we did something that was really epic. We won a battle that a lot of people thought was very hard to win, you know, too big to rig. Remember what I said, too big to rig. We make it too big to rig, we're going to win. And it really was one of the great political victories in the history of our country, and that's good. They said one of the very big radical left newspapers said the most consequential election in the last 129 years. And I said, couldn't they have made it a little bit longer than that? You know, 129 years, but that's pretty good. But we won. Oh, it's so nice. We won the popular vote by a lot, by millions and millions. And I used to hear the first one we won and we did great. And they always would say, while he didn't win the popular vote, he won the electoral college. You know, they'd say that low. But we actually did very well then, but we did really well the second time. And this time, we said, to hell with it. We've got to just blow them away. And that's what we did. We blew them away. So we won all 7 swing states. Remember, they were saying, well, you know, we did very well in early voting, so we didn't have to win too much, because we were way ahead. But they said, well, he only has to win 2, but we won all 7. Can you believe it, huh? We won all 7. And we carried the great state of Arizona, something not easy for a Republican to do, but it was easy for us to do. And we had more than a 6-point landslide. That's called a landslide here. And not only did we reclaim the White House, we also took back the U.S. Senate. And we won the largest popular vote majority for House Republicans in a presidential year since 1928. That's a pretty good thing. And I want to express my tremendous gratitude to Charlie Kirk. He's really an amazing guy. Amazing guy. And his whole staff for their relentless efforts to achieve this very historic victory. It's such a great honor. It's not my victory, it's your victory. It's a great honor, man. We worked hard on this. We knew bad things happened in 2020, and if I didn't know that we won in 2020, I wouldn't have done this, because it would have been like the ultimate poll, right? But we won by a lot, and this time we said, look, now we got to really win by, and we won by so much. They just, you know, they threw all their placards. They wanted to protest. They were all set, and at about 9 o'clock. They said, man, this guy's killing us. They threw the placards. They went home, and we had no riots. We had no anything. It was a beautiful thing to watch. They just said, we lost. And we want to try bringing everybody together. We're going to try. We're going to really give it a shot. The thing that brings people together is victory. It's winning. And we had that for much of my first year. We had the greatest economy in history in our first term. We can now call it a first term. We had the greatest economy in the history of our country, maybe in the history of any country, frankly. And we did things that nobody could have done, and we're going to do them even better now. We're going to be drilling, as we say, drill, baby, drill. We're going to drill, baby, drill. But we're going to be doing a lot more than drilling. But I also want to give a very special thanks to everyone at Turning Point Action who outworked and outsmarted, always outsmart. You gotta be smart too, and outorganized the radical left opposition. We had very strong opposition, not in terms of numbers, but I will tell you, something's happened, because that was a big defeat for them. Nobody expected the numbers. You know what happened? The pollsters went around, and whenever anyone said, it's none of your business, they say, who are you voting for, or who did you vote for? They said, it's none of your business. And sometimes they said much tougher language than that, but I'm not going to get into that because I'll get in big trouble on the home front. And with Franklin Graham, please, sir. He says, please, sir, please don't use foul language. You speak so beautifully. You can do just as well. Actually, it doesn't work quite as well, but that's okay. It's just emphasis. But when they said, essentially, it's none of your business, that was a Trump vote. And they had the highest numbers of people that said that because they don't trust the press, etc. And we had the highest numbers. And that's why the polls showed us winning, but not winning in a landslide like we did. And we sort of knew that was going to happen. We could tell by the rally signs. Look at this. Here we won. There's no reason except celebration, but that's not a bad reason, is it? And look at the crowd. They have 7,000 or 8,000 people standing outside. They can't get in. Would anybody like to give up their seat, please? Huh? You know, doing this for years, I don't think I've ever had anyone say, yes, I'll give it up. Just one person, nobody. The Democrats and the media said that Turning Point could never run a ground game. They weren't experienced. They didn't know Charlie, right? But when the ballots came in, the other side really didn't know what the hell hit them. They got hit hard, and the victory was such an outstanding one, such a big one. And the other side now, and we don't want this. We want people to be happy and healthy. But they did. They lost their confidence. If you watch television now, they're all befuddled. They don't know what the hell happened. They're befuddled, to use quite a nice word that my mother used to use years ago, talking about somebody that's a mess. But they did. They've lost their confidence, and hopefully they'll lose it for a long time and then come over to our side because we want to have them. We want to have them. And we're going to have some inauguration on the 20th. We're going to have something. It's going to be great. Going to be great. But something happened also in the election. All 50 states shifted toward the Republican Party, every single one of them. And together we won the largest share of African-American voters of any Republican in modern history. Actually, in history. We won more Hispanic-American votes than any Republican ever, and we won the vote. We won the Latino men. Who's a Latino man? Do we have any Latino men? Now, you're not a Latino man. Very beautiful woman, but a man you are not. Of course, nowadays, who the hell knows? But we won the Hispanic, I call Hispanic. I always said, do you like Latino or Hispanic? Let's go. Let's do a free poll. Who likes to be called Latino? Okay, that's what's always happening. Listen to this. Who likes to be called Hispanic? Not as good as usual. But we won half of all voters aged 18 to 29. There's never been anything like that. We won by 36 young people. And we got the highest share of youth vote of any Republican ever before in history. And we had great people. You know, my son Barron said, Dad, you got to see this one, that one, this one. He said he likes Joe Rogan a lot, too. He said, you got to see Joe Rogan. Dad, you got to do an interview with these people. And he is a sort of a feel for young people. I guess that's a nice thing to have when you're young. But he has a feel for it. And it was amazing. So we got the highest vote ever for a Republican candidate. We won by 36 points with young people. That never happens. A Republican loses by 36 or 40. So I'm going to have to start thinking about TikTok. I think we're going to have to start thinking. Because, you know, we did go on TikTok and we had a great response. We had billions of views, billions and billions of views. They brought me a they brought me a chart, and it was a record, and it was so beautiful to see. And as I looked at it, I said, maybe we got to keep this sucker around a little while, you know? Who wants to? Oh, look, I see Sheriff Joe. Sheriff Joe, could we use you on the border? Stand up. Sheriff Joe. Look at that. He had no problems with the border. You could straighten your border out in 2 minutes. We'll put Sheriff Joe over there. And and you're looking good, Joe. You're looking good. And we miss your wife, right? Your great wife. She's up there proud as hell of you. But he had no border problems. You didn't have any border problems. And we'll do that very shortly for you. We're going to have, you have a governor that doesn't know what the hell she's doing. You have people that don't know what they're doing. And we're going to change it because your border is a disaster. Your border is a disaster, what's going on. And you just have a few days to wait. We're going to be fully operational, I would say, by about 2 o'clock on the 20th. 20th of January. With your help, we gained 23 points with voters under the age of even 25. Think of that. We gained 23 points. And in the election of 2024, our movement not only won a mandate, but we built new American majorities all over the place and will define our country's future. I believe it's going to define our country's future for generations to come. That's going to happen. It's, you know, there's some people called up that are great people, actually. Great business leaders called, a lot of them. And some of them weren't exactly on my side, but they're on my side now. But they said there's a light over not only the country right now, but over the entire world. And it is happening. And we want to get some of these wars that would have never happened, like Russia, Ukraine would have never happened. Israel would have never been attacked, would have never happened. We wouldn't have inflation. We wouldn't have had that Afghanistan horror show, that horrible, the way we left, leaving billions of dollars of equipment behind and 13 soldiers. And, you know, nobody ever mentions, and I mention because I love them and they're all watching right now. 48 soldiers that were horrifically injured. Nobody ever, they lived and they don't talk about them, but these are incredible warriors that were hurt so badly with the legs and the arms and the face and hurt so badly. 48 of them. And we love you. You're listening and we love you. We're not forgetting you. And for all of us standing before you today, I can proudly proclaim that the golden age of America is upon us. It's going to be a golden age. There's a spirit that we have now that we didn't have just a short while ago. Sadly, we didn't have. Well, who the hell can have spirit? Watching women get beat up in a boxing ring? I don't think that's spirit, right? We're going to end that one quick. We're going to end it very quickly. We're going to end that one very quickly. Since the election, the stock market has broken one record after another. The biggest gain of stock market after an election in history. That's a good sign. In a single month, small business optimism soared 41 points, which is a record. That's a record. Bitcoin has surged to an all-time record high of $108,000. Congratulations. Congratulations. And just last week, in an overwhelming statement of confidence in our leadership, the CEO of SoftBank, a very highly respected man in Asia, Masayoshi Son, you probably saw it announced that he will be investing, and only because I won the election, he made that clear, only because he has confidence in the United States, between $100 billion and $200 billion. And he's going to be investing. It's equal to about 100,000 jobs at least. And all over the world, people are investing now. They're starting the investments, and it's going to be a beautiful thing with the jobs. But they're calling it the Trump effect because even before taking office, we're already bringing in the jobs and opportunity and safety and common sense back to the USA. We're bringing common sense back. Maybe that's the most important thing. I think common sense is the most important thing, but not only are we seeing it at home, but we're seeing it abroad as well. The European Union is suddenly talking about buying vast new quantities of natural, American, beautiful natural gas. It is beautiful, and it's very inexpensive. It's a lot less expensive than windmills all over the place. A lot less expensive. But I've informed Mexico and Canada that they will have to step up and stop the illegal aliens and illegal drugs from pouring into our country. Have to stop. And that goes for the European Union, and it goes for many other places. European Union's treated us very, very badly. We have hundreds of billions of dollars with deficits. They don't take our cars. They don't take our agricultural product, but we take theirs. And they've got to be careful. They can't treat us that way. They're not going to be treating us that way for long, that I can tell you. Because we're not going to let them turn the United States into a dumping ground. We're not going to let it happen. We pay Canada in subsidies and deficits over $150 billion a year. And you say, why are we doing that? Why are we paying Canada $150 billion? Essentially, we're paying Canada, and we love Canada. I have so many friends here. I love Canada. I love it. But why are we spending $150 billion on Canada? Yet Canada allows people and drugs to flood in through our northern border. You know, we have a northern border that's not doing so well either. Likewise, people are coming in from Mexico in numbers that have never, ever been seen before. We had 21 million people come in over the past 4 years. Think of that, 21 million people. And you see a lot of these people should not be here. They come from mental institutions and prisons from all over the world, not just South America. Hundreds of thousands more are racing to get across before January 20th. You got to see it. And I was very strong with Mexico. I spoke to the new president, who was a lovely, wonderful woman, and President Sheinbaum, wonderful woman, actually. But I said, you can't do this to our country. We're not going to take it anymore. You can't do it. But I've informed Mexico that it just cannot continue. We're not going to let it continue. The United States has lost 300,000 people a year. Think of that. I don't know. I mean, how many people, everybody you meet said, I lost my daughter, I lost my son to drugs, to fentanyl, mostly to fentanyl, but to drugs. Families are being destroyed, and we're going to stop it. We're not going to let that happen. And we're also going to be doing something that's, I think, going to help a lot. We're going to do very big advertising campaigns, just like a campaign for running for president. We spend a lot of money, but it'll be a very small amount of money relatively. We're going to advertise how bad drugs are for you, how bad they are. They ruin your look, they ruin your face, they ruin your skin, and ruin your teeth. If you want to have horrible teeth, take a lot of fentanyl. If you want to have skin that looks so terrible, take fentanyl. We're going to show what these drugs are doing to you. Nobody's done that before, and we're going to do it. And that is, it's going to be like running a political campaign, just like running for president, just like we just did. We had some pretty good ads, right? We explained what these people have done, how they're destroying our country. I mean, who would let millions of people pour in from prisons and jails and mental institutions, and I always say insane asylums? You know, the press gave me a hard time because sometimes I'd use the word, a name, Hannibal Lecter. They said, why does he mention Hannibal Lecter? That has nothing to do with it. Why would he? I mean, are they stupid? The fact is that we don't want Hannibal Lecter. You know what that is? Silence of the Lambs. We don't want Hannibal Lecter, Dr. Hannibal Lecter in our country, do we, huh? And you know what happened when they went to the voting booth? Or, unfortunately, if they signed their mail-in ballot, but we got by it. We got to change all of that stuff. We got to have great, fair, confident elections. But when they went into the booth or they signed their ballot, they said, Hannibal Lecter, that's a bad guy. We don't want him here. They knew that. They didn't like that. They didn't like that I used them because it's a good It's a very good example. It's like incredible what they do. We need borders, we need fair elections, and we need a free and fair press. And we're going to try getting all of them. As another example of the things we're doing and looking at, it's such a terrible thing is happening. The Panama Canal is considered a vital national asset for the United States of America due to its critical role, American economy, the whole world economy, and also national security. The Panama Canal. Has anyone ever heard of the Panama Canal? Because we're being ripped off at the Panama Canal like we're being ripped off everywhere else. A secure, he just said, take it back. That's a good idea. Where do you come from, sir? He doesn't come from Panama. Yeah, good. A secure Panama Canal is crucial for U.S. commerce and rapid deployment of the Navy from the Atlantic all the way to the Pacific. It's an incredible thing, and drastically cut shipping times down to U.S. ports by days and even weeks. The United States is the #1 user of the Panama Canal, with over 72% of all transits heading to or from U.S. ports. Think of that. So we built it. We're the ones that use it. They gave it away. Considered one of the one of the great wonders of the world. The Panama Canal opened for business 110 years ago and was built at huge cost to the United States, and it really is big when you consider the lives and the treasure, the equivalent of $1.2 trillion today. You don't hear those numbers. 38,000 American men, almost all men, they went there to be construction workers and dig. They were diggers, and they were brave. 38,000 men died from infected mosquitoes in the jungles of Panama during the construction period. Think of that. We lost 38,000 men. Teddy Roosevelt was president of the United States at the time of its building and understood the strength of naval power and trade. When President Jimmy Carter foolishly gave it away for $1. During his term in office, it was solely for Panama to manage and not for China or any other country to manage. You see what's going on there? China. It was likewise not given for Panama to charge the United States, its Navy, and its corporations doing business within our country exorbitant prices and rates of passage, which they do. They charge us like it's a disgrace. Our Navy and commerce have been treated in a very unfair and injudicious way. The fees being charged by Panama are ridiculous, highly unfair, especially knowing the extraordinary generosity that has been bestowed to Panama, I say very foolishly, by the United States. This complete ripoff of our country will immediately stop. It's going to stop. The United States has a big and vested interest in the secure, efficient, and reliable operation of the Panama Canal. And that was always understood when they gave it to Panama. Can you believe that? We would never have done it if we thought what's happening now can happen, and we would never, and we will never, ever let it fall into the wrong hands. But it's falling into the wrong hands. It was not given for the benefit of others by a token of cooperation, but it was given to Panama and to the people of Panama, but it has provisions. You got to treat us fairly, and they haven't treated us fairly. If the principles, both moral and legal, of this magnanimous gesture of giving are not followed, then we will demand that the Panama Canal be returned to the United States of America in full, quickly, and without question. I'm not going to stand for it. So to the officials of Panama, please be guided accordingly. William McKinley, the 25th President of the United States, was because of the vast sums of money that he brought into our country, the person really who got us the money that President Theodore Roosevelt used to build the Panama Canal and a lot of other things. McKinley was a very good, maybe a great president. They took his name off Mount McKinley, right? That's what they do to people. Now, he was a great president, very good president at a minimum. He was a very good businessman. He was a businessman, then a governor, very successful businessman, and then he ran for president, and he won. And he was able to use business principles, and he was a strong believer in tariffs. And we were actually probably wealthiest of any time, relatively speaking, at any point in the history of our country. In the 1890s, we were so wealthy, we had commissions set up what to do with all the money that we were taking in. We had no income tax. We only had tariffs. I consider that to be the most beautiful word in the dictionary. But President McKinley was the president that was responsible for creating a vast sum of money in the United States that Teddy Roosevelt then spent. So let's say they were both excellent presidents, but McKinley did that, and that's one of the reasons that we're going to bring back the name of Mount McKinley, because I think he deserves it. I think he deserves it. There are lots of things we can name, but I think he deserves it. That was not very gracious to somebody that did a good job. And as you know, he was assassinated. He was assassinated. We have accomplished so much in just 47 days since the election, but that's only the beginning of what we will achieve together as the 47th President of the United States of America. Over the past few weeks, I've nominated an all-star cabinet of some of the most fearless, determined, and brilliant individuals ever to step forward for public office. And we're getting great reviews, I have to say, and they're all doing well. But we're getting fantastic reviews on the people that we chose. It's we chose, because I wouldn't choose them if I didn't think you liked them. I don't have that kind of courage. You like every one of them, and everybody. I mean, people are amazed at the quality. Our Secretary Scott of the Treasury is central casting, the whole group. But to get wokeness out of our military and restore the unquestioned strength and fighting spirit of the American Armed Forces, I've appointed Pete Hegseth to be our next Secretary of Defense. He's going to be great. You know, I've interviewed with him a lot on Fox, and all he ever wanted to talk about was the military, including when we weren't on. He'd talk about the military. He'd talk about how unfairly our soldiers were treated. Can I give a pardon to this one or that one who's treated so unfairly? They teach them to be fighting machines, and then when they fight, they want to put them in jail for 35 years. And he was very strong on that. That's all he wanted to talk about, really, and it just seems so natural to me. Plus, he had a great education, went to Princeton and Harvard, was a tremendous student, and he's a very vibrant, strong guy. I think he's going to be great. He's doing well to make our intelligence community respected even more. I don't even think the word even is right, because we had some bad years with these people. But we're going to do something. We're going to stop looking at all of these horrible foreign wars that we've gotten ourselves through stupidity. We're in wars at countries that nobody ever even heard of before. And we're going to be smart. We're going to be guided by strength. We're going to have peace through strength like we had. I had no wars other than I wiped out ISIS. We wiped out ISIS in a small fraction. They said it was going to take 5 years. It took 4 weeks. We have a great military, not the ones you see on television, the real generals, but I've nominated Tulsi Gabbard as our Director of National Intelligence, and to be our next Secretary of Health and Human Services, I decided, look, something's going on here. When you look at like autism from 25 years ago and you look at it now, something's going on, and I nominated Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Think of it. Think of this. 25 years ago, autism, 1 in 10,000 children. Today, it's 1 in 36 children. Is something wrong? I think so. And Robert and I and all, we're going to figure it out. But did you ever hear numbers like that? Something's wrong. Something's wrong. Likewise, there's been a 25% increase in childhood cancer and a staggering increase in chronic diseases. So together we're going to make America healthy again. We're going to make America healthy again. Something's happening. Something bad is happening. And to end the weaponization of law enforcement and restore fair, equal, and impartial justice, we will have an outstanding new Attorney General in Pam Bondi. She's fantastic. She is fantastic. Known her a long time. And I'm very pleased to report that Christopher Wray is on his way out. He's resigned. And he will soon be replaced by our next FBI director, somebody who I think is going to be one of the greatest, maybe the greatest director of them all, Kash Patel. I campaigned on an agenda of delivering profound change to Washington, and last month the American people voted for change like they've never voted before, and in overwhelming numbers that nobody saw coming. I saw coming, because I think we all saw coming. When you went to the rallies, you saw that. We'd have, like we had in New Jersey, 107,000 people, and they'd go out the next day and they'd have 30 people, maybe 40 if they were lucky. And then I heard how it was going to be a close race. I said, why is that? Why is that? I don't quite get that. But now the Republican Senate majority is working very hard to confirm my nominees, and we appreciate it. And with the help of this dream team cabinet, and we have so many others I won't bother mentioning, but you know every one of them, we're going to embark on the most exciting and successful period of reform and renewal in all of American history. We're going to do something that's going to be really, really special. You're going to be so happy. And as you know, I made a series of big day one promises in my campaign. You know them just as well as I do. And 29 days from now, I intend to keep those promises to the American people. And just as we did 4 years ago, my administration will live by the motto, promises made, promises kept. We did keep our promises. And there's a new hat, there's a brand new hat that's out. I saw it yesterday, the first time, and it's selling like hotcakes. It says, Trump was right about everything. And I don't want to brag, but we were right about just about everything, including foreign policy, these crazy wars that we're in. One of the things I want to do, and quickly, and President Putin said that he wants to meet with me as soon as possible. So we have to wait for this, but we have to end that war. That war is a horrible, horrible. The soldiers, the number of soldiers being killed, it's a flat plane, and the bullets are going, and there's powerful bullets, powerful guns, and the only thing that's going to stop them is a human body. They go dead flat land. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. Millions of soldiers have died now. Millions. We're seeing numbers that are just crazy. Got to stop it. It's ridiculous. Would have never happened if I was president. That war would have never happened. And October 7th, Israel would have never happened either. So much our country would be so different and the world would be so different. But it's not. So we have to make it great. We're going to make it great. We're going to do it as quickly as we can. On my first day back in the Oval Office, I will sign a historic slate of executive orders to close our border to illegal aliens and stop the invasion of our country. And on that same day, we will begin the largest deportation operation in American history, larger even than that of President Dwight D. Eisenhower. And as part of Operation Aurora, you know all about Aurora, how horrible that's been. Every single foreign gang and illegal alien member, all of this criminal network operating on American soil will be dismantled, deported, and destroyed. Going to get them out. Think of it. They sent their gang members to us. Busload after busload. We had an open border. They're gang members, they're drug dealers, they're drug addicts, people that were sick, people that were healthy and strong. What the hell was that? You get the little yips up here every once in a while. I wonder why. That was a strange sound. I've heard some very strange sounds. Every foreign gang member will be expelled, and I will immediately designate the cartels as foreign terrorist organizations. We're going to do it immediately. And we'll unleash the full power of federal law enforcement, ICE, Border Patrol. How good is Tom Homan, right? He's phenomenal. I've known him a long time. I'll bet you Sheriff Joe likes Tom Homan, right? Sheriff Joe, yes? Yep. He goes, yep. The DEA, the FBI, the intelligence community, and financial sanctions to remove the migrant gangs and criminals that are killing and raping and maiming our citizens. We're going to get them out. We're going to get them out. We're going to get them out fast. We have no choice. We have no choice, by the way. I don't want to do that, but we have no choice. Last thing I want to do, could have been so much easier. The election wasn't rigged. It would have been a much different thing. But this will show something. This is going to show how we do it and how good we are. You know, we showed how the opposite philosophy runs a country, and it wasn't good. They had an approval rating today. It was 14%. Nobody's ever had an approval rating of 14. That's the lowest approval rating. And we're going to have a very high, in fact, we already have a very high approval rating. We're way up, way up, higher than almost anybody, higher than anybody as of this morning. We will end the occupation, and January 20th will truly be Liberation Day in America. Is that okay? Liberation Day. And this great liberation will be in honor of all of the victims of migrant crime and all of the angel moms and angel dads who have lost their really incredible kids that, you know, they're going around for years and years. And I talk to them all the time. I know so many of them. And many of them are here. And we can just say, we love you, we're with you. They had so little help from the politicians on the other side. We're joined today by Patty Morin, the mother of Rachel Morin, who you know all about, a beautiful mother of 5 who was murdered by an illegal alien monster who entered our country under the open border policies of the Biden administration. Your borders are always not too good. Your borders are, that was not Tom Homan, I can tell you. But Patty, those days are over, and they will soon be over. I hope we're just not going to have, how can you say never again, but we're going to have as few as possible. It's going to be rough, and it's going to be rough on the ones that do that kind of damage to you and to our country. Where is Patty? Is she here someplace? I just want to thank her. Hi, Patty. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for being here. Appreciate it. Thank you, darling. Do you want to come up for a second, Patty? Huh? Do you want to come up? I had lunch with Patty, and she suffered greatly. I said, let me help you with your eyes, because I want to help her with her eyes. She has an eye situation that can be fixed with some medical help. Many of them can't be fixed. I said, Patty, get your eyes taken care of. I'll take care of it. Just get it done. I hope you got it done. Did you have them done yet? Did you have it done yet, Patty? That's great. Oh, you look good, Patty. Be careful. Did you have your eyes done yet, Patty? You get them done, okay?
January.
Oh, good. She's going to get them done in January. Good.
Thank you. Thank you. The first time I met President Trump in person, he invited us to lunch, my attorney and I. And to be honest, I didn't do anything. I just sat there. I didn't really speak because I wanted to watch the man and listen to what he had to say and what his conversation was like, because I knew he wasn't a politician, but I knew that he had been president before, and I wanted to see if he was a real, authentic man who actually cared for the American people. And so I watched him. I watched how he interacted. I also watched how much his staff really respected him and how much his staff loved working for him. But the thing that changed the way that I looked at him as a person was I realized that he was a dad, that he was a grandfather, and when you spoke to him, you could see in his eyes that he genuinely cared about his fellow human being. But the thing I appreciate the most is that he heard the cries of a mother, and he cared, and he made a promise that he was going to protect us and that he was going to help us. And that's all you can ask from your president, but also just from a fellow human being. And so I personally, I am so honored to know this man and to think of you as a friend.
Thank you very much. She's been through hell. Who wouldn't be? I mean, so many people, so many, I call them angel moms, and they go through hell. And many of them say it doesn't get any better, but we have to hope it does get better. Also with us is a very special guy, the president of the National Border Patrol Council, Paul Perez. He's incredible. He's doing a fantastic job, and he wants to do the job right. Hey, Paul, come on up here, Paul, quickly. Paul, in 1 month, the Patriots of Border Patrol will once again have a president who will back you and will have you, and we're going to work together as we have done in the past. You know, we had the safest border in the history of our country. And you remember the famous sign that I pulled down? That sign was about how good the border was. I haven't used that sign much lately. Well, we won, so I guess I don't have to use it, but we really do have to use it, because the fact is that we have to have strong, safe borders, and we have to have men like this and women who are doing an unbelievable job. I've gotten to know a lot of them. I'll tell you what, they're tougher than I am. I don't want to mess with them, right? But this man has done as the head, and also replacing a very good guy. We know that, right? And he's going to have a good life, I hope. He's going to, because he was a very special guy, and you're a very special guy. Say a few words, please, Paul.
I mean, we're back. America is back. The strength and security that Donald Trump brings to the White House is what we've needed. He's done it before. He's going to do it again. We're going to make all of these communities safe. And like Tom Homan said, if you're not going to help, get the hell out of the way. Donald Trump is by far the best president in the history of this country, and he's going to show everybody exactly why. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Paul, and everybody, and Brandon Judd, and all of the people that do such an incredible job. We're also pleased to be joined by a man who just also, we really did well in Texas. And I heard Ted's speech. And he can come up and speak more if he wants, or he can just, Ted's going to be going to a big event in a little while. Where's Ted Cruz? Is he here? He's here someplace. Ted? Oh, he's in trouble. He's in trouble. No, he was here. Oh, good. He's not in trouble.
Keep Texas, Texas. Amen. And I've got to say, this election has given President Donald J. Trump, a Republican Senate and a Republican House, a clear mandate to deliver on our promises. One month from today, President Trump will secure the border. We are going to bring back jobs. We are going to lower prices. We are going to protect American families. We are going to put criminals in jail. We are going to keep our kids safe. We are going to end foreign wars with victory. And I'll tell you, Mr. President, the results of this election, 7 battleground states, you won all 7. The people elected a Republican Senate and a Republican House to have your back, and we are going to deliver results. And if I can speak parochially for a minute, one of the most consequential things that happened in this race in Texas, you won profoundly in Texas, and both you and I won a majority of Hispanic votes in the great state of Texas. That is unprecedented. That is generational change, and it demonstrates that we are going to protect our nation. We are going to bring our country back, and we are going to make America great again.
He's actually a great guy, was really out there working very, I'm so glad he was here. That was an amazing moment. But we want to thank him. He had a great race and did a fantastic job against like 250 million spent against him. But Texas was very special, and it will remain very special. It's doing really excellent people, great people. And the governor's doing a fantastic job in Texas. Your senator, Dan Patrick, and everybody's doing, Attorney General. Also, I want to bring up, if I could, or just say hello to him if he's on the outskirts, because you got a lot of people in this room. You got a lot more people outside than you have in the room. The RNC chairman, Michael Whatley, who was so fantastic in what he did with Laura. The two of them were so great. Where's Michael? Come on up, Michael. Come here. This guy did some job. Thank you very much.
It takes three things to win in a battleground state. Number one, you got to get out the vote. Number two, you got to protect the ballot. And number three, you have to have a great candidate who runs a great race. The people in this room helped us get out the vote. They helped us protect the ballot. We would not have been able to win all those battleground states without you. But when it comes to having a great candidate who runs a great race, there is simply nobody better ever than the 45th and now 47th President of the United States of America, Donald J. Trump. Thank you.
Thank you very much. He really has, and Laura have done an incredible job. What a pleasure. They were fighting. They had so many lawyers. They were fighting the enemy like you wouldn't believe. I mentioned Tom Homan, but special, he's going to do so well. And a friend of mine who I haven't seen in a little while, Matt Gaetz, is here. Where's Matt? He's around here someplace. Matt Gaetz. He's got a big career set up. And just want to say hello to Matt and Arizona GOP Chair Gina Swoboda. Wow, she is very, Gina, where's Gina? Because we're going to be backing Gina to run again. There she is, Gina. Gina, are you going to run again? Yes? Because if you do, you have my endorsement. So that should be good. Thank you. Thank you, darling. Great job you've done. A great professional golfer, a friend of mine. He's really a good golfer. Tom Pernice is here someplace. Tom, wherever you may be. Hello, Tom. Don't play him in golf. Play him in other things, but not golf. Trish Dugan is here, who is just a fantastic. Where is Trish? She's one of my great friends. Thank you very much. Has she helped? Trish has helped us so at a level that very few people can even dream of. So I want to thank you very much. Trish Duggan, please. Thanks. Where's Trish? Thank you, Trish. I think I see Carrie Lake. Is that Carrie Lake? Yes. Hi, Carrie. Stand up, Carrie. Hi. Hi. Good job. Worked hard. She's a good woman and she's going to be doing something very big, maybe bigger. It's a big one that you have, so good luck with it. You're going to do well. Going to turn that around like nobody ever saw before, so thank you very much for accepting it. Sergio Gore, a friend of mine who's doing a fabulous job leading the presidential personnel. He's really working hard. Where's Sergio? He's around here someplace. Sergio, where is he? Hi, Sergio. Good job you're doing. We have some big announcements over the next few days, too, big ones. A great actor has been with us for a long time when it wasn't fashionable. Rob Schneider. Rob. He was here with a few of his friends when it wasn't quite as fashionable, right, Rob? But you were here. Thank you very much. Great job you're doing, too. Karen Robeson. Where is Karen? Karen is here, and she's, I hear, running for governor. She's going to be running for governor. Where's Karen? Hi, Karen. Hello, Karen. Are you running for governor? I think so, Karen, because if you do, you're going to have my support, okay? You're going to have my support. A man that is very non-controversial, a very unique, he really is a unique person, but he doesn't like controversy. His name is Steve Bannon. Has anyone ever heard of him? Where's Steve? Hello. Hi, Steve. A big, powerful voice he's got. His show is phenomenal. War Room. Man, thank you, Steve. There's nobody like Steve. Thank you very much, Steve. And a Phoenix police officer who was shot 8 times in the line of duty, Tyler Moldovan, who I just saw backstage. Where's Tyler? Oh, he's got to be right there. There he is. Hi, Tyler. Thank you, Tyler. Hi, Tyler. Wow. Thank you, Tyler. Eight times. Can you believe that? Think of that. 8 times, and he's looking great. Thank you very much. And to your family, beautiful wife. With a stroke of my pen on day 1, we're going to stop the transgender lunacy. And I will sign executive orders to end child sexual mutilation, get transgender out of the military and out of our elementary schools and middle schools and high school. And we will keep men out of women's sports. And that will likewise be done on day 1. Should I do day 1, day 2, or day 3? How about day 1, right? Under the Trump administration, it will be the official policy of the United States government that there are only 2 genders, male and female. Doesn't sound too complicated, does it? To rescue our economy, I will sign day 1 orders to end all Biden restrictions on energy production, terminate his insane electric vehicle mandate, cancel his natural gas export ban, reopen Anwar in Alaska, the biggest site potentially anywhere in the world, and declare a national energy emergency. And do we have great people in energy, head of energy, Chris Wright, and Doug Burgum is the interior, and I merged both of them. You know, the energy had no energy. It just had the right to do energy, and interior had all the energy, but it didn't have the right to drill. So I merged them, and they're great friends. They're both very talented people. We're going to have so much oil and gas and other things, you won't know what to do with it. You'll say, please, President Trump, stop. We have too much. The prices are going too low, sir. Remember, we were $1.84 a gallon gasoline. Wouldn't that be nice? I will direct every cabinet secretary to cut 10 old regulations for every new regulation, which I did last time. We'll be getting rid of a lot of. Last term, for me, we did something special. We cut more regulations by 4 times than any other president in history, and we're going to top that record. Some of those ridiculous regulations were immediately put back on, and they were just hurting our country. That's why we had the best job numbers ever, because of what we did with regulation. You know, we cut taxes more than any president in history, and we cut regulations more than any president in history. And when I asked the people that run the big companies, which is more important, cutting the taxes or cutting the regulations? Every single one of them so far has said the regulations were more important for jobs and everything else. Who would think that? but I will order federal workers to get back to the office in person or be terminated from the job immediately. And we will create the new Department of Government Efficiency headed by Elon Musk. And no, he's not taking the presidency. I like having smart people. You know, they're on a new kick. Russia, 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 Ukraine, 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 all the different hoaxes. And the new one is, President Trump has ceded the presidency to Elon Musk. No, that's not happening. But Elon's done an amazing job. Isn't it nice to have smart people that we can rely on? Right? Don't we want that? He's done a great job. And I'll tell you, he landed that rocket a few months ago. It landed, it's coming down so fast, 17,000 miles an hour, he says, and coming down, it looks like it's getting ready. And then all of a sudden, the jets go on, it slows it down, then it's almost stopped it. And it guides it over left, right, up, high, down. I said, what the hell's going on? Because nobody ever saw this before. And then it has the big gantry, very expensive. It looks like it's going to be smashed to smithereens. And then those jet engines roared from the bottom. It's coming in this way, a little hot. And the engines, pushed it straight, it landed. And it was like you're hugging a beautiful baby. A baby. No, not that baby. But it was the most incredible thing. And then he got into his car and or plane or whatever, however he went, and he went to Pennsylvania, and he stayed up there for a month and helped us to win that state, which we won by a lot. So he was really good. And he supplied Starlink for North Carolina when they had no form of communication. They said, sir, do you know Elon Musk? Yeah. Well, we can't get Starlink. It's very hard to get. And I called Elon, we have to get some up there. You got to get some up there. And he got over 2,000 units. That's a lot. And they flooded it with Starlink, and it was so good. It saved a lot of lives, so we want to thank him. But no, he's not going to be president, that I can tell you. And I'm safe. You know why? He can't be. He wasn't born in this country. But the fake news knows that. No, he's a great guy, and we want to have him. Everybody, so many people are in this audience that have helped. So to an extent that you wouldn't believe, but we're going to bring transparency and accountability back to our government, and we'll be very soon, you're going to see it drain the swamp. We're going to be draining that swamp at levels never seen before. And I hope everybody goes home and reads the congressional report on the criminal activities of the Unselect Committee of Political Thugs, J6 Committee. What they did is so illegal. And Congress has done a fantastic job on that. They just put out a report. They call it an interim report. It's brutal. On them, not on me, on them. And it's terrible. What they've done to this country is just absolutely terrible. But we'll end the left's campaign of racial discrimination and restore equality to our land and all over our land. And you see that happening so much with the vote and the kind of vote we got. Nobody ever expected anything like that. And I'll end all of the Marxist diversity, equity, and inclusion policies across the entire federal government immediately. And at the same time, we will ban these unlawful policies we're going to ban them from the private sector as well. In America, we believe in the merit system. The merit system. And now, because of the major decision handed down recently by the Supreme Court, our country has again gone back to the merit system. That's what made our country great. And I want to just thank the Supreme Court, because that took a great deal of courage for them to do that. And some people were surprised by it, but that's what made us great. Merit made us great. I will direct our military to begin construction of the great Iron Dome missile defense shield, which will be made all in the USA, much of it right here in Arizona. You know, Ronald Reagan wanted to do it many, many years ago, but they didn't really have the technology. It's lucky that he didn't, because they didn't, but they have it now. We can knock a needle out of the sky. And as Commander-in-Chief, I will restore the proud and historic names of our great military bases like Fort Bragg. We're going to get them back. And woke has to stop, because along with everything else, it's destroying our country. We're going to stop woke. Woke is bullshit. As an example, in addition to the military bases, I understand they want to now rename 14 ships. We want to rename them. Some of these ships have had a great and glorious past. They want to take the name off and put another name down. Oh, I can imagine whose name they're going to put up. Not going to happen with me. It's not happening with me, I can promise you that. The actions I have described today are just a small preview of the common sense revolution, because that's what I call it, a common sense revolution that's coming soon to America, to a theater near you, right? But it's coming to you through your president, Donald J. Trump. The people have given us their trust, and in return, we're going to give them the best day one, the biggest first week, and the most extraordinary first 100 days of any president in American history. And in conclusion, on January 20th, the United States will turn the page forever on 4 long, horrible years of failure, incompetence, national decline, and we will inaugurate a new era of peace, prosperity, and national greatness. It's going to be national greatness. It will be something very, very special. And you could use a little of that, because you haven't seen any of it in 4 years. What's happened to our country is so sad. We're going to cut your taxes, end inflation, slash your prices, raise your wages, and bring thousands of factories roaring back to America and right back here to Arizona. Because when I agreed to do this, and I had to do it for Charlie, because he's special, but I said, Charlie, I'll do it, but this has to be also a real tribute to Arizona, because they gave us such a big win. And I said, I'll get in my plane at 4:45 in the morning, and I'll fly here, but we have to really acknowledge and take care of the people of Arizona, because you were fantastic, and I just want to thank you for that big win. Not an easy win. And we're going to build American, we're going to buy American, and we will hire American. I will end the war in Ukraine. I will stop the chaos in the Middle East, and I will prevent, I promise, World War III. And we're very close to World War III. We will crush violent crime. We're going to stop violent crime. We're going to have to be tough. Please get ready. You're going to have to be tough. We can't let this happen. Our cities are crumbling. And give our police the support, protection, resources, and respect they so dearly deserve. And I rebuilt our entire military at a level that it had never been. Unfortunately, we gave a big chunk of it to Afghanistan. You believe that one? What a terrible thing. But we will again rebuild those sections of our military that have been so badly hurt. Plus, we give so much of it away. You know, when I came in the last time, we had no ammunition. Can you believe it? I was greeted with a general, sir, we're very low, almost no ammunition. I said, keep it quiet. Let's not let the enemy know that. That doesn't sound too good. Steve Bannon would say, that's not a good thing. No ammunition is not good, right, Steve? And I built so much ammunition so fast, nobody's ever seen anything like it. We give a lot of our ammunition away, as you know. And we have to take care of ourselves. We have to protect ourselves. And we have to make our country great. We just can't keep doing what we're doing. Especially when these wars never had to start. They never had to start. We will rebuild our once great cities, including our capital in Washington, D.C., making them safe, clean, and beautiful again, and we'll do it quickly. We'll teach our children to love our country, to honor our history, and to always respect our great American flag. We will get critical race theory and transgender insanity the hell out of our schools, and we're going to get it out of our schools very fast. I will defend religious liberty, I will restore free speech, and I will defend the right to keep and bear arms. And after years of building up foreign nations, defending foreign borders, and protecting foreign lands, we are finally going to build up our country, defend our borders, and protect our citizens. We're going to protect our citizens. And we will stop illegal immigration once and for all. It's going to stop. You're not going to have an invasion of our country any longer. That will stop in just a few very short weeks. We will not be occupied. We will not be overrun. We will not be conquered. We will be a free and proud nation again, a nation led by competent people, a nation that we can be proud of. We're going to be so proud of our nation. We already are. It's already happened. Remember what I said. There's new light all over the world, not just here. All over the world. Everyone will prosper. Every family will thrive, and every day will be filled with opportunity and hope, and will be filled with a thing called the American dream. You can have the American dream back. For the past 9 years, you and I fought side by side against the most sinister and corrupt forces on earth. And in our magnificent victory on November 5th, you showed them once and for all that this nation does not belong to them. This nation belongs to you. That's what happened. It was hardworking patriots like you who built this country. And in 2024, it was hardworking patriots like you who turned out and voted and saved our country. That's what happened. After all we have been through together, we now stand on the verge of the 4 greatest years in American history. We're going to make these the 4 greatest years in the history of our country. With your help, we will restore America's promise. We will rebuild the nation that we love, and we will do it very, very fast. That's what we want. We are one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. We will never give in. We will never give up. We will never back down, and we will never, ever, ever, ever surrender. Together we will fight, 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 and we will win, win, win. We're going to win a lot. And together we will make America powerful again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America healthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again. Thank you very much. And thank you, Arizona. Happy New Year. Merry Christmas. Thank you very much. Thank you. God bless you all.
you can go. I said, young man, when you're short on your dough, you can stay there. And I'm sure you will find many ways to have a good time. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. They have everything from your mental joy. You can hang out with all the boys. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. It's fun to stay at the YMCA.
All right, we're back out here live at the booth here at Amfest 2024. We just wrapped up President Trump's speech here on day 4. Thank you for joining me. Brian Glenn here with your live post-speech coverage. We've got Ben Berkholm. We'll get to him in just a second out in the crowd, talking to people leaving here. Now, this was a very different feel to this particular speech, unlike the ones before where we were fighting for the campaign. We're fighting for the election. It was really kind of going into the 2024 election. This campaign was a little bit more of what we're going to do. Now we're in office. He went over a lot of things, not only executive orders from day one to not only secure the border, but also to stop the transgender lunacy. That's what he describes it. So a lot to talk about. Let's go out to Ben Berkholm if he's ready. Ben, what are the people saying coming out of this speech today?
Hey, Brian. Well, look at this. I mean, it is a sea of humanity, if you will. We've got the escalators behind me. By the way, do you recognize me? I got my new hat. Hello, hello. I got my new hat. I'm going to be rocking this one on the airplane on the way home. Sir, what do you think? Talk to me about the event, winning this election, Real America's Voice, going into 2025. What do you think?
It's insane. This is the best organization, the cultural swing, as big as Woodstock. This is our today's Woodstock. Donald Trump is the Beatle cultural swing. And any of you that are sitting on your butt at home, any of you retired Marines and cops and all you other people, get off your butt and start mentoring to save this nation, save these kids, and turn on Real America's Voice, because these are the greatest people, from JoJo to Steve to Ben to, and I'm not getting paid for this, but I live on their show. I live with you guys. So God bless you. And the bravest man in the world, traveling to Darien Gap. Get off your butts and get active. Turning Point is going to save this nation.
God bless you. Hey, it's an honor. Absolute honor.
Go Ducks.
Oh, that goes out to Austin. Hey, can I have you jump in here? And then my guys, Central Valley. Let me get my brothers in here. Okay.
Yeah, from Central Valley, Fresno area. Yeah, Hanford, Lemoore. Yeah. Welcome back. Good to see you. You look great back from the border. Yeah, you've been doing good things, man. Great to see you.
What do you think about this? President Trump, 2025, California, everything.
There's a new hope in California. I think we're trying to turn that state around. Lots of people left, Ben. Lots of people escaped California. But a lot of us held there, especially in the Central California area, Fresno, Tulare, Kings County. We are like a really good area where there was like a lot of stalwart conservatives, and that kind of spread now throughout the larger regions up to Modesto, on throughout San Francisco, Napa Valley, Marin, on down to on down to Los Angeles. We never thought we could, win parts of Los Angeles. Now you see that because President Trump, he's bringing that back. He's bringing back the hope of a new America, right? A better America.
Amen.
Tremendous hope, man. Tremendous hope for everybody. It's awesome. Unbelievable.
Now, you guys in agriculture, when we met, you talk about the destruction, all these things that Democrats have destroyed in America.
Small business,
but you look at agriculture in the Central Valley, destroyed because of radical environmentalists. They're really terrorist environmentalists. Talk to me about that and the hope you guys have, small business, agriculture, President Trump, Ag Secretary, all that stuff going forward.
The regulations on farmers have been unbelievable. They can't even farm anymore. They got to deal with so much garbage. They can't farm. All they want to do is farm, but regulations handcuff them. Water is killing us. They're taking our water away, both surface water and pumping water. Without water, we cannot farm. You'll see fallow ground across the entire state that is worthless because we have no water. It's taken from us.
They're regulating the farmers to death. The farmers can't farm. They can't water. They can't, dairies can't operate. They can't water their land, so they're leaving. And then guess who's buying it up at pennies on the dollar? China and Bill Gaetz, right? They're coming in and buying all the land up. Bill Gaetz is the largest farmland owner in the world. That's the kind of stuff we have to stop. They're regulating the farmers to death out there. And water's a big part of it.
God bless you guys. Tell everyone in the Central Valley I said hi. We're coming back for Christmas. I'll see you guys down there. Yes, sir. God bless you guys. Hey, let me get you in here. Come on in here. What do you guys think? No, right here. I want you first. Okay. So speaking of warriors, people that have seen it, the being abandoned by Joe Biden. You were at Abbey Gate. You were there in Afghanistan. Talk to us about that. and the light now, the hope that you have with President Trump coming in.
Yeah, it was a hard wait. We sat in our cars for over 6 hours. The gate was closed. We couldn't even get out. And we had 22 clients. I worked for USAID at that time as a contractor. And it was hard to get out. We had Taliban walking by our cars, shooting up in the air. There was people going over the fence where the barbed wire was to get to the airplanes. It was really bad.
Now you look at President Trump coming back in there.
I feel really good because I'm a veteran, of course, he did the executive order where we can use doctors out in town, which was massive for us. He's done a lot for veterans, and I really appreciate that.
God bless you. Tell us your name and where you're from.
I live in Peoria, Arizona.
God bless you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
And thank you for your service. All right, guys, come on in here. Come on in here. Talk to me.
Hey, I'm from Audra Bentley from Washington State, and I heard you talking about the cows and water, and they're starting to regulate our water wells up there as well. And so
the same enemies that have destroyed agriculture in California. It's the same people. It's the same terrorists that are trying to destroy the Western world, America, and it's happening not just California. If we allow it to happen, it's happening all over the country.
Yeah, it's awful. It's just not fair what they've done to everybody. The regulations that they're putting on farms in Oregon, and the regulations and the well regulations.
Hello, everyone.
But thank you very much for being here. That's been amazing. President Trump was amazing today. I can't ask for anything better. You guys are awesome.
God bless you. All right, brother. Thank you. Hey, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. We say Merry Christmas. It's not Happy Holidays. It's Merry Christmas.
We do say Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Ben.
God bless you.
What a blessing to see you again. Boots on the ground. Remember when we did the Jericho March 2022 after they stole our voices and our votes? Again, it's not about Carrie. It's not about President Trump. I'm blessed that they are our servants, but that's what they are. And President Trump continues to stand in the gap. And I'm blessed to have been here 13 times to see President Trump, and he's going to stand in the gap and make sure the gelded, old, pathetic party toes the line and represents us. It's all about we the people. Amen. You're on a mission from God. I'm blessed to know you, sir. Merry Christmas, sir.
God bless you. Hey, now this guy, I saw you coming by. You Marine?
Yes, sir. I'm a Marine, private first class. Went to NAMA. It is a pleasure to be here. I enlisted 4 months ago. Hoorah! And I've been politically active since I was 16, and so it's a great honor to be here. I've been waiting for this moment, and I can assure all of you back at home that our military does support President Trump. When our senior drill instructor announced that he won that election, the cheers and the roars in that room I heard from the company was unlike anything else. So I am absolutely proud of Turning Point USA. Everybody here, just a phenomenal job. Like, we couldn't do it without the contributions of every single patriot in this country.
And you're a young man, obviously just getting started in your career, and you look at the direction that this is going. How much hope does this give? I know you said the cheers. What does that mean, though, from a war fighter looking at the potential, the prospects of a Joe Biden continuation under Kamala Harris versus what President Trump means to the military?
Oh, yes. And listening to the military was really nervous because Biden's president, and so our journalists were like, yo, listen, we're going to war China. It's inevitable, right? But as soon as Trump won that victory, the whole culture changed. Like, we knew that our country was in good hands and that we were going to be able to better prepare for the security and future of the United States. Like, it gives hope to so many Marines, to so many service members that we will be greatly taken care of and that our service will be better appreciated.
What's your name?
My name's Winston Nama.
Winston Nama. Where are you from?
I'm from Texas.
Can I pray with you, brother?
Absolutely.
Oh, man. It's Sunday morning. Oh, Lord, thank you. Shine your light on this nation. Shine your light on Winton, Lord. Everybody who puts on that uniform, lift them up if they're going through depression now, Lord, especially if there's anybody who's watching this that is thinking about suicide, Lord. I pray that you would give them light and hope and direction, and you'd let them know, you would shower them with your love. Let them know that they are so appreciated, that there's something to live for, that you have purpose in their life. But the guys that are active duty right now, Lord, guys and gals, I pray that you would just give them the understanding how much we appreciate them, how much the American people appreciate them, how much President Trump appreciates them, and just give them joy in their life as they serve. It's a tough job, and in particular, if they have to do hard things, Lord, just give them grace and mercy and peace as they walk. And I just pray a special blessing on Winton, Lord, on his life, that he would be light in the darkness, that he would be an example to all those around him as he continues this walk. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.
Amen.
I love you, brother. God bless you, man.
Listen,
Thank
I
you.
can say one more thing.
Whatever you want.
To all I highly encourage all young service members, look at what J.D. Vance did. We must do the same. Just because you're in uniform does not mean you cannot serve your country politically as well. We must represent the conservative movement even in uniform. I highly believe that, and we will make it happen. Thank you so much.
I love it, man. This is what it's about. This is what it's about. Winton, pass the word, man. Shine your light. Keep shining it. Come on. I love you, brother. Come on over here. Come on. Hey, what's going on? Love you, man. God bless you. Merry Christmas. All right. Hey, speaking of it, Brian, I want to get you in on this. Brian, you got to come down here and hang out with me, man. This is it, man.
This is it. You know what? Let me hear real American voice around here.
Let's hear the voice of the people.
You know what? That's why I'm here. I represent a whole big community of people in California that don't have a chance, don't have the money, don't have the opportunity to come here. So I'm here. I'm the news, and I'm going home to report to them that because of real America voice, because of people like you, I'm very proud of the young people that are here. Together with President Trump, we will take back America.
Amen. God bless you. I love you.
We want to thank God because on July 13, God spared President Trump life so that President Trump will save America. So that's a message in my back.
I love it. All right, guys, much more to come. The best is yet to come. God bless you. God bless your family. Merry Christmas. Brian, I'm going to let you take us out. What an amazing, amazing 4 days. Shout out to Turning Point. Shout out to Charlie Kirk. Shout out to everybody who stands up for this country. Pray for President Trump. Pray for Tom Homan and everybody who's going to save this nation.
No matter what age you are, courage is contagious.
All right. Thank you, Ben, the great Ben Berquam, who has literally covered the entire U.S.-Mexico border and then beyond. Thanks for that great feedback there. I've recognized so many people walking by you and during those interviews that I have seen across this great nation as we covered just about every Trump rally. I was there after 2020 election. I knew he was coming back. He didn't formally announce until about a year after that. And then, of course, when he announced that he was going to run for president, we were there at Mar-a-Lago. We've been on the trail ever since. And, of course, we had of all the cases against him, the 34 indictments, raided his house in Mar-a-Lago. They've done they shot him in the face. But despite all of that, he was destined to be the next president of this country. And I want to thank all of our viewers, all the supporters out there that showed up to the events, showed up to the rallies, and they continue to pray for this president. As we did it, we are now going into a new phase of this administration and President Trump laying out many of his policies here tonight and teasing what's ahead. Great cabinet appointments as well. Now, doing a little homework going forward, keep this date in mind. January 3rd is key date on the House. That is when they will vote for the next Speaker of the House. Will it be Mike Johnson? Will he survive? Well, somebody says no. Will he survive the multiple rounds? I think that would challenge him for Speaker. Then going into January 6th will be the day they were certified the election. Will we have a Speaker by January 6th? Will we meet quorum by January 6th to do that? If that does not happen, we will have certainly another historic day in this country in terms of certifying another election. Look, we've had 4 days here in Phoenix. Thank you so much for everyone joining us. All you guys out here, give yourself a round of applause who have showed up every single day. And thank you to our viewers. Thank you to our sponsors for making this happen. As always, I said this. Now I want you to go home, spend time with your family. Merry Christmas. Turn off politics completely and enjoy the love that we have and we're given for Christmas. Until next time, goodbye. God bless from Phoenix, Arizona. We'll see you later.
Israel needs you. We desperately need tens of thousands to respond.
The war is here. A great storm from the north has come against Israel. You've got the scriptures calling each one of us not only to pray for the peace of Jerusalem, but every city throughout Israel that's under siege. This massive grocery store should be crowded. People are lacking food.
Exactly.
The International Fellowship of Christians and Jews is preparing meals for precious elderly citizens who can't get out. So many bombs yesterday, 71. Because of the war, much of her roof is gone, the ceiling is gone. She's frightened from Hezbollah.
Hezbollah?
Yeah. How does she get food? The International Fellowship of Christians and Jews, we come in. Thank you. You provide groceries, vegetables, hot meals. It's you.
Your emergency gift will help provide food to Clara and thousands like her trying to survive in the evacuated areas of Israel. Your urgently needed gift of $45 will help rush the delivery of an emergency food box and nutritious meals for a week.
It's you that gives her hope and lets her feel the presence of God.
It must be that God is here with me now. Thank you, and I'll say a special prayer of thanks to God.
When there's war and violence and brokenness, you and I as Christians are chosen to minister, to love. You help bring the peace of God that passes all understanding, and to know.
I had a front row seat to a lot of this, and at various times was basically told not to believe what I was seeing or hearing. The president misspoke. The president has a cold. But now the dam appears to be breaking. This Wall Street Journal item interviewed 50 people familiar with Biden's operation. And it raises a lot of questions about who was making key decisions. You mentioned the Afghanistan withdrawal. If the president was as diminished as this story makes it sound, that would be a huge problem, and it could explain why certain decisions were made that turned out to be catastrophic and why no apologies were ever made. To your point, Brian, when the cabinet met all 9 times, which is the least in the last several decades that a president has had their whole cabinet together in an entire term,